on average, says Gas Buddy. You've got traffic and weather in 1 minute.
Hi, Pat Sullivan here from Sullivan Hardware and Garden in Allisonville Home and Garden by Sullivan. Our stores are blooming with flowers, hanging baskets, bedding plants, perennials, annual containers, shrubs, trees, and much more. With so many colors and varieties, it's the best looking selection you'll find anywhere. Come see the difference. Why, you ask? Our plants are from top quality Midwest growers, many right here in Indianapolis. Check the specials on our patio furniture like all-weather wicker, Berlin Gardens poly, cast aluminum, teak, and more. You can even choose your own custom cushions on most sets. We specialize in excellent quality mid-price patio furniture that's in stock at our 37,000 square foot warehouse, all priced at 30% off. See our large selection of grills, Weber, Traeger, and the Big Green Egg. Shop, play, experience. Spring with Sullivan's. 71st and Keystone, 49th and Penn, Cicero, and Allisonville Home and Garden by Sullivan in Fishers.
93 WIBC traffic. Here's Matt Bear.
All right, Chris, inbound 65 slow at 20. First stop and go out west. Let's go as you hit the north split. South side, eastbound 465 slow from Bluff 231. Head on the northeast side, eastbound 465 slow, Keystone Avenue to Allisonville Road. Traffic sponsored by Anthem Blue Cross and Blue Shield. They've teamed up with the Indiana Fever and Common Threads to provide local schools with information for nutritious meal preparation. Learn more at anthem.com/fever. Anthem Blue Cross and Blue Shield is the trade name of Anthem Insurance Companies Incorporated. I'm Matt Bear. Follow us for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
Here's your forecast from the American Standard Cooling Weather Center.
A spotty shower possible this afternoon with highs right around 73. I'm Wish TV's Storm Track 8 meteorologist Tara Hastings for 93 WIBC.
I'm Chris Davis, on the level, on the go, and at WIBC.com.
Hammer and Nigel.
Can you believe these characters are weirdos?
So let's rock it!
My name is Nigel. Jason Hammer right over there. The YouTube stream is up and running. Another way to listen and connect with the show. Just go to YouTube and type in Hammer and Nigel or 93 WIBC. Roger is our first participant. LFG with the big thumbs up emoji.
Maybe he's European. Maybe it's Roger.
Roger Gizmar. And then the Libertarian Dragon, of course, chimes in. Hey, gang. Keeping our eye on the weather again. Is there really more weather? Because I'm looking at outside right now. It looks beautiful. I don't think there's any weather coming. I don't believe it.
Meteorologist Big Nige. I guess we should cancel Ryan Morse coming up here in just a little bit. We don't need him if Big Nige says it's going to be fine.
Fake news. Fake news. No, I'm looking at the radar. There's looking like some stuff out there a little bit later on.
The old dreaded pop-ups are coming later on tonight.
The pop-ups. Yeah.
Sometime what we're hearing, after 8 p.m., but also clearing out around 2, 3 o'clock in the morning. So that's kind of the timeline, but we'll leave that to the professional. Coming up here in just a little bit, Ryan Morse, meteorologist for Wish TV, will jump on with us and give us a more in-depth timeline, if you will. Yesterday, and even today a little bit, the old man, Nige, Donald Trump, it feels like Trump of old. So far in this new run as the president, we haven't had many of those moments where he's been ripping on journalists right to their faces, having chopper pressers, making people laugh, not knowing if it's a dude or a chick. That used to happen all the time. Yesterday, it all happened in one day. He was all over the place. It started with this interview that he taped with ABC News. Terry Moran, or some call him Terry Moron.
There it is.
This was beautiful. This was peak Donald Trump. This is what captivated so many voters who don't consider themselves Republicans or even politicos or voters. This type of attitude that Trump displayed to this very woke, very leftist interviewer from ABC is why he has done so well politically. Donald Trump ripping Terry Moran right to his face.
Do you think the reputation of the United States has gone down under your presidency? No, I think it's gone way up, and I think we're a respected country again. We were laughed at all over the world. We had a president that couldn't walk up a flight of stairs, couldn't walk down a flight of stairs, couldn't walk across the stage without falling. We had a president that was grossly incompetent. You knew it, I knew it, and everybody knew it, but you guys didn't want to write it because you're fake news. All right. Thank you. And by the way, ABC is one of the worst. I have to be honest with you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
And what could the guy do? What could that poor bastard do but just sit there and take it because he knew that Trump was right?
And this was also the interview where we got Tattoo Gate, as it's being known as now. Now, it's no secret. We've talked about this on the show, Nige. Like, one of the heroes to the political left right now is Maryland Man. And yes, I'm using air quotes there.
Maryland Man.
Who also happens to be an MS-13 gang member who beat the bejesus out of his old lady and was sent to El Salvador. Now, there was a discrepancy on the paperwork on the back end, but it wasn't like they accidentally deported.
No, he was on the schedule to be deported. It just wasn't to El Salvador.
Right. It wasn't like they deported the dad from Leave It to Beaver or something here, right? So Donald Trump talks about how horrible, how rotten this guy is, and Terry Moran, doing ABC News stuff, starts to clap back a little bit. And then we get into Tattoo Gate.
When we have criminals, murderers, criminals in this country, we have to get them out, and we're doing it. By law. And you'll pick out one man, but even the man that you picked out, he said he wasn't a member of a gang, and then they looked, and on his knuckles he had MS-13.
There's a dispute.
Well, wait a minute. He had MS-13 on his knuckles tattooed.
He had some tattoos that are interpreted that way. But let's move on.
Wait a minute. Hey, Terry.
He did not have the letter MS-13.
It says MS-13.
That was Photoshopped. So let me
That was Photoshopped. Terry, you can't do that. Hey, they're giving you the big break of a lifetime. You know, you're doing the interview. I picked you because, frankly, I never heard of you, but that's okay. I picked you, Terry, but you're not being very nice. He had MS-13 tattooed.
We'll agree to disagree. I want to move on to something else.
Terry, do you want me to show you the picture?
I saw the picture. We'll
and you think it was
disagree.
Photoshop? Well,
here we go.
Don't Photoshop it. Go look at his hand. He had MS-13.
He did have tattoos that can be interpreted that way. I'm not an expert on them. I want to turn to Ukraine.
Why are you asking him about that?
No. He had MS as clear as you can be, not interpreted. This is why people no longer believe the news, because
when
it's
he was
fake
photographed
news.
in El Salvador, they aren't there.
Why? First of all, why did his girlfriend Photoshop them out? In other words, put like little hearts emojis over his knuckles on some of the social media posts.
Right.
Why are what Donald Trump is talking about are the actual representation of MS-13, the tattoos.
Right.
The little pictures on his knuckles, right?
There's a marijuana leaf that
right.
signifies M.
Yeah.
There's a smiley face that signifies S.
Yeah.
A cross signifies 1. And a skull disguised as a 3 equals 3. And that's right in a row. Right. MS-13. We're not talking about where somebody has clearly photoshopped, like using like the font you can find on a Word document.
Yeah.
MS-13.
It was like a mug shot of his knuckles, right? And you see the tattoos on his knuckles, and on top of each of those symbols was like an M, which was typed in there, an S.
Right.
It was yes, that was photoshopped.
That's not what we're talking about.
But Photoshop isn't even the right word. It was like it was identifying what those symbols meant on that picture.
Right. Like if you talk to folks that work in this line of business, folks from the DEA, folks in law enforcement, marijuana leaf, M, smiley face, S, the cross and the skull, 1-3.
Yes.
That's MS-13.
The M was not actual part of his knuckle.
Right.
How dumb do you think we are? And that's what he chose to argue about. I thought this thing was over. I think the guy, the senator from Maryland, was even kind of backing away eventually and saying, well, everybody should get due process, not just this guy. I mean, it's just ridiculous that they're still arguing about this guy.
The ex-husband of the MS-13's girlfriend right now, the ex-husband, in a previous statement to law enforcement, said he was concerned about his kids living with their mom because their mom's new boyfriend is a gang member.
How do you argue with somebody like that, though? How do you argue with, like Trump was sitting there saying, no, this is MS-13. This is what this skull stands for. It would be like if you and I took a selfie here in the WIBC studios, right? And then, like, on top of it, we had Allison just type in or Photoshop in the words, Hammer and Nigel in studio. And then somebody saying, Nope, that's not real. They're photoshopped. Nope, look, that's not a real picture. It's photoshopped. I'm just trying to use that as an analogy or as an example of what we're talking about here, which is ridiculous, and we can move on.
So the media tour continued. He did a rally in Michigan. Donald Trump trying to keep the Republicans in play in Michigan as he won that state in November. There was a protester that was trying to disrupt things. And again, this is what I'm talking about when I say we got vintage Donald Trump.
What's the problem? Is that a radical left lunatic? He's just a child. All right, get him out. Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, ma'am. I thought it was a guy.
That's a guy.
Thank you. And she now has to go home to a mother who's a big Trump fan. Her mother's watching. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I said he, and it's a she. I'm sorry.
Which brings us to great moments in Trump gender questions history.
Oh, man.
Trump gender questions history.
Okay.
Things are going good for you and for our country. Thank you. I love you, too. Thank you. That's the guy, but I love him, all right? Whoever the hell you are, I love you.
Whatever the hell you are, I love you. So we've got an interview that was filled with fire. We got a rally where he didn't know if it was a dude or a chick. There's only one thing missing from the Trump bingo card that would make it a perfect day. A good old-fashioned, God-fearing chopper presser, Nige.
Wow.
And for those who don't know what a chopper presser is, this is where Marine One is blaring in the background, and he's talking to the press, and they're all lined up, and nobody can hear anything.
Are you still deporting people to El Salvador, Mr. President?
What?
Are they getting due process? Are the illegal immigrants? Are the immigrants getting due process?
I can't hear you with that accent.
Due process.
And if you think we're making this up, let's take a trip down memory lane, because it's been a while since we've had a good old-fashioned chopper presser. This is how about 95% of these things sound.
Say it louder. You have to speak up. Speak up. Talk up. You have to talk up. We have a helicopter. What'd you say? I don't hear you. What? Did I what? Can I what? Do I what? Say it again, louder. You're competing with a helicopter. Say it. 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 Say it again. Say it again. Say it again. Say it again. My hearing is great, but you have a helicopter that's raging back there.
It's the point out to the press corps that there's a helicopter. Speak louder. I don't know if you noticed, there's a giant helicopter behind me.
Oh, that's what that is. Oh, thank you, Mr. President.
Say it.
He was asked about reflecting on his first 100 days in office.
Well, I think we've done everything or it's in the process of being done. For instance, the border is in great shape. 99.9% came out again today. 99.9. That I would say that was my number one thing. The economy would be certainly right up there, and I think it's doing great. We were losing billions and billions of dollars a day with trade, and now I have that down to a very low level, and soon we're going to be making a lot of money. We're going to be reducing people's taxes, and we're going to get the big, look, a very important element that we're working on now, maybe more important than anything with the border in good shape, is the fact, is the fact that we want to get, and very importantly, the big, beautiful New Deal. If we get that done, that's the biggest thing, what's happening in Congress right now.
So he checks off the border from his to-do list. That was fixed in like 3 days.
Yeah.
And now it's a more complicated issue, fixing the economy, fixing trade. Tariffs, people's 401ks. They're not real patient. It's a long game, but when it comes to people's money, they're not real patient. And lastly, this may be my favorite question that was asked at the chopper presser. Somebody asked President Trump his thoughts on who should be new pope.
As pope? I'd like to be pope. That would be my number one choice. No, I don't know. I have no preference. I must say we have a cardinal that happens to be out of a place called New York who's very good. So we'll see what happens.
You know, after my next 2 terms as president, then maybe I'd like to be pope.
Pope Trump. Gonna call me Pope Trump. Making the Cardinals great again.
Matt Bear, say it.
Set. Looking to northbound 69, stall on the exit through 96th Street. Up in Fishers, inbound 65, stop and go from 29th Street to Meridian Penn. Eastbound 70, slow from Harding Street into the South Split. Traffic sponsored by Rapid Radios. Rapid Radios are instant push-to-talk walkie-talkies offering national LTE coverage. For a limited time, go to rapidradios.com now for 60% off and free UPS shipping. Add code radio and get an extra 5% off. I'm Matt Bear. Follow us for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
That's the guy, but I love him. All right? Whatever the hell you are, I love you.
Whatever the hell you are, I love you. 69 right now at the American Standard Cooling Weather Center. Again, could see some storms later on. We'll have Ryan Morse of Wish TV, meteorologist, join us here in just about 15 minutes. Do not go anywhere. We're going to have a good time today. We'll talk about that wild Pacers game last night. Going to have a lot of laughs. It's the Hammer and Nigel Show.
Your future holds so much potential. The question is, are you planting the right seeds today to make it flourish? At Howard Bailey Financial, we strive to help you create a retirement plan that can adapt to your evolving needs, offering guidance to bring you clarity, confidence, and purpose along the way. Whether you're just beginning or refining your financial strategy, we're here to support you. Let's grow something lasting together. Text GROW to 888-262-1104 to start planning for your future full of possibility. That's GROW to 888-262-1104. Take the first step today. Howard Bailey Securities, LLC is an independent financial services firm and uses a variety of different investment strategies. Please see disclosures at howardbailey.com.
Comcast Business helps turn today's small businesses into engines of modern business. It's how restaurants become reliably up and running neighborhood favorites. How retailers become seamlessly restocking, cyber-securing, must-visit shops. And how healthcare offices become the data managing caregivers that we all depend on. With reliable connectivity, enhanced cybersecurity, advanced fiber solutions, and Wi-Fi backup, Comcast Business is powering the engine of modern business. Powering possibilities.
Now through May 4th, new customers can get started with 300 megabit internet and Security Edge for $69 a month for 24 months. And ask how to get free installation on qualifying bundles. Plus, find out how to get a $500 prepaid card on a qualifying gig bundle. Call today. Restrictions apply. Not available in all areas. Requires enrollment in paperless billing and automatic payments with bank account. Equipment, taxes, and other fees extra. After 24 months, regular rates apply.
Metal recycling, a familiar face in Indy.
Farnsworth Metal Recycling will pay you cash for your scrap metal. Ray's Demolition and Farnsworth Metal Recycling may seem familiar to you, and that's because they are. They're trusted local family-owned businesses going back 3 generations in Indy with their familiar orange logo and a name you know. But you may not know they'll pay you cash for your scrap metal. Cash is king. Your scrap aluminum, steel, copper, and brass will get you cash from Farnsworth Metal Recycling. Just drop it off or schedule a pickup, and you'll put cash in your pocket. Ray's Demolition and Farnsworth Metal Recycling. Local names you can trust with 2 locations.
Farnsworth Metal Recycling, a familiar face in Indy.
Get cash for your scrap. Get started at farnsworthmetals.com.
Sometimes an identity threat is a ring of professional hackers. And sometimes it's an overworked accountant who forgot to encrypt their connection while sending bank details.
I need a coffee.
And you need LifeLock, because your info is in endless places. It only takes one mistake to expose you to identity theft. LifeLock monitors hundreds of millions of data points a second. If your identity is stolen, we'll fix it, guaranteed, or your money back. Save up to 40% your first year with promo code NEWS at lifelock.com. Terms apply.
This hour on 93 WIBC is powered by Miss M's Home and Garden, Johnson County's spring nursery headquarters.
Someone pour me up a double shot of whiskey. They know me and Jay.
You're listening to the Hammer and Nigel Show.
Nigel, if you're looking to have a double shot of whiskey tonight or whatever libation turns you on a little bit,
okay,
I've got a reason for you to drink tonight. It was on this date, 33 years ago in 1992, the final episode of the wildly successful Cosby Show aired after 8 seasons.
Wow.
44 million people watched the final episode of The Cosby Show. Jeez. Man, I would have thought it was on for more than 8 seasons. Felt like The Cosby Show was on for like a long time, but just 8 seasons on NBC, kind of like a staple of that Thursday night lineup. Now, as time has gone by, I think a lot of people don't mention The Cosby Show as one of their favorites because, let's be honest, there's a little elephant in the room here when it comes to old Bill himself.
Taking advantage and assaulting and doing horrible things and drugging women for decades.
Served time for it. He's out now. Served time for it. And if you remember, there was an episode of The Cosby Show, and I believe streaming outlets have now pulled this episode. You can't find it anywhere. Like certain shows that have episodes that don't age well, they remove those episodes. There's an episode of The Golden Girls where, like, the girls have mud masks on, and they come out, and it looks like they're in blackface, and, like, B. Arthur's kid's dating a black girl, and it's supposed to be awkward. That episode has been pulled from streaming. This episode of The Cosby Show where Rudy was sick, and Bill crushes up pills to put them into her orange juice so she drinks it, has been pulled.
3 chewable aspirin crushed, just like Mommy would crush them. Orange juice in the crushed aspirin, staring and smiling just like Mommy.
It's ridiculous that got pulled. I mean, come on. It's aspirin he's putting into the drink. It's not what he was doing later. Allegedly. Well, convicted for.
Twist yourself into a pretzel and defend. No, I get it and I don't get it. There's a couple episodes of Seinfeld, like one of the controversial season in episode 9, where it was Cuban Day, and there's like Kramer has this Cuban flag and it's on fire. They've banned that. There's a scene where it's just a comedic scene. There's one episode is like, you could go back through Seinfeld, and I watch them all the time, and say, oh my gosh, you could not get away with some of this stuff today.
Kramer yelling like the Indian.
Yeah, well, yeah, that's that episode when Jerry bought the cigar store Indian for Elaine, but when he brought it to her, she had her friends over, and he was interested in one of her friends when she was an American Indian, and then he tried to make it up to her like bought like front row seats to the Knicks game. Where'd you get that? Where did you get these seats? He goes, I got them from a scout, somebody that sells tickets on the street. Just another example. Right. I understand what you're saying, though, but yeah, I understand why they made
You're a Little House on the Prairie guy. Jeff Boggs jumps into the YouTube chat and says there's an episode of Little House on the Prairie where Laura explains racism to America, and that was pulled. Are you familiar with that episode?
I've watched that series twice through. There was a lot of that stuff.
It was Prairie Time. It was a different time back then.
I had no problem with it. In fact, I had to, like, they would like use the real words sometimes when they were showing racism on display.
Remember when Todd Bridges, what you're talking about, Willis, was a young kid.
Yeah.
He was in an episode where that word was used
and, like,
a lot.
I'm sitting there watching with my son, who is a couple years younger, and I'd have to, like, cough every time. Dad, stop, I want to hear what they're saying.
That's just like coughing to cover up a fart. Everybody knows what was said. Everybody knows what you did.
But in my 9-year-old, I didn't want him to hear those words. But no, exactly. Yeah, Jeff, I've seen every one of those episodes.
Great moment in Cosby history. This is when the news network, the BBC, over in Great Britain, confused two guys that I think the average person could confuse, Bill Clinton and Bill Cosby.
For the last 2 years, this has been where Bill Clinton has called home. But tonight, he will sleep in his own bed after the bombshell decision by Pennsylvania's Supreme Court to overturn his conviction of sexual assault.
Just to clarify what was said there in Michelle's introduction to the story, we apologise for the mistake. The story, of course, is about Bill Cosby, the entertainer.
Tomato.
Whatever.
Great moments in Bill Cosby history. This is when his publicist, not being over the top at all, compared Bill Cosby to Jesus Christ.
Mr. Cosby's doing great, and Mr. Cosby knows that God is watching over him. He knows that these are lies. They persecuted Jesus, and look what happened. Not saying Mr. Cosby is Jesus, but we know what this country has done to black men for centuries. So Mr. Cosby's doing fine. He's holding up well. And everybody who wants to say anything negative, you're a joke
you
as
can
well.
stop.
Thank you.
If you ever find yourself saying, I'm not comparing him to Jesus, but you should probably just stop talking at that point. It's the Hammer and Nigel Show.
Employee pricing. That's right. At Andy Moore Ford in Plainfield, you can get employee pricing across a full lineup of your favorite trucks and SUVs. Their entire American inventory has been marked with employee pricing, so you pay what they pay on F-150s, on Super Duties, Explorers, all of them with employee pricing. And if you need something a little smaller but still want to be able to haul the crew and cargo around, the Edge is the perfect choice for you. And you'll definitely enjoy the excellent fuel economy. Plus, it's loaded with safety features. Get more to your door with Andy Moore Ford. Simply purchase your vehicle online and they'll deliver it to you. And if you need to sell or trade your current vehicle, the time has never been better. Andy Moore Ford will pay top dollar for your used vehicle, even if you don't buy from them. Employee pricing on all your favorite Fords are at Andy Moore Ford in Plainfield, 2713 East Main Street in Plainfield, or online at Andy Moore Ford, M-O-H-R. I love Andy. AndyMooreFord.com.
Hey, it's Rob for Universal Windows Direct. If spring cleaning has you thinking about spring upgrading, this is the month to do it. Freshen up your home's look, boost your energy efficiency, and save big during Universal Windows Direct's Spring Home Improvement event. Right now, it's their classic fan favorite offer, buy 2 windows, get 2 free, no limit. And for a limited time, Universal Windows Direct is also offering no interest until 2030. That's right, upgrade your home today and don't pay a cent in interest for 6 whole years. And here's the real spring surprise. Get a bonus $500 off your home improvement project. There's never been a better time to bundle and save with Universal Windows Direct. Some restrictions may apply, so call today, 317-659-7574. 317-659-7574. Get all the information and schedule your totally free in-home estimate. And see everything for yourself on the web, universalwindowsdirect.com, universalwindowsdirect.com. Tell them Rob sent you.
J&V here from Miss M's. The greenhouse is filled with great spring color and tropical plants. Miss M's Home and Garden is your one-stop shop this spring for all things home and garden. Hanging baskets, bedding flats, tropicals, vegetables, herbs, herbaceous perennials, trees, shrubs, home decor, patio furniture, and more. If you need it for your home or landscape, Miss M's has it. Now is the time to get your home beautified for all summer. Miss M's is located on State Road 135 south of Whiteland Road in Bargersville. MissMsHomeandGarden.com.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
At least one shot fired, one person arrested. Radar lit up with showers across northwest Indiana, and some of that may get to the central part of the state this afternoon. It's 70 on Monument Circle. I'm Chris Davis. Here's what's trending. A shooter at the Jackson County Library in Seymour. It was noon when Seymour police got the call. The person was able to get a shot off and shatter the glass of the front door, and one person was hurt. Police have the shooter under arrest. The person who was hurt went to the hospital. It's still unclear whether that person was shot or hurt by the glass. President Trump's pick to run Customs and Border Protection told his Senate confirmation hearing that he's focused on agency morale, technology, and stopping drugs. Fox's Jessica Rosenthal.
Former Border Patrol Chief Rodney Scott retired 4 years ago, but he's back as President Trump's pick as Customs and Border Protection Chief. He confirmed for a Democratic senator during his confirmation hearing that most drugs are seized at the ports of entry. He said he does have a plan to expand vehicle inspections there.
In a perfect world, we would love to get to 100%, but there's going to have to be a lot of conversations with Congress on how to fund that, because it will, as you know, we talked about, it will require revamping the actual footprint of ports of entry.
When it comes to drones dropping drugs over the border, Scott said mitigating that threat will require a different kind of discussion about regulation with the FAA and FCC. Jessica Rosenthal, Fox News.
An announcement today that Slate Auto will build a factory to produce electric trucks in Warsaw at an old printing press building there. The trucks are bare bones, and the CEO says that makes them more affordable than other electric trucks. They start with a 150-mile range. That is expected to bring 2,000 jobs to the state. You've got traffic and weather in 1 minute.
My name's Craig Landers. I'm a union laborer for Look 120, and I'm a member of the Veteran Steering Committee and been retired for 7 years.
For members of the Laborers International Union of North America, giving back is part of their commitment to the Indy community.
I like to help veterans and family downtown. Part of the building burnt down that housed the veterans that lived there. So we donated money to help out. They lost everything they had. I mean, they didn't have much, but they lost what they did have.
When the Indy community needs help, LIUNA steps up.
People bring in clothes and shoes and food. We had a couple of car shows and donated the proceeds to the Veteran Suicide Prevention.
This is Chris Bricky, Business Manager of Labor's Local 120. While all our members are skilled, highly trained men and women, we are also your friends, neighbors, Little League coaches, and volunteers here in Indy.
Pretty good to help them guys out. That's a good feeling to help people out.
We build Indy for good jobs and stronger communities. We are LIUNA Local 120.
93 WIBC traffic. Here's Matt Bear.
All right, Chris, inbound 65, stop and go traffic, MLK to Meridian Penn. It's a 6-minute delay. Eastbound 70 delayed 4 minutes into the south split from Tibbs. Northeast side, eastbound 465 slow from Keystone Avenue to Allisonville Road. And on the south side, eastbound 465 stop and go after Man Road over to Harding Street. Traffic sponsored by Drexel Interiors. Go where the pros go. Drexel Interiors for 1951 cabinetry. Visit Drexel's Kitchen and Bath Design Center is at 146th and River Road, North Shadeland, or online at drexelin.com. I'm Matt Bear. Follow us for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
I'm Chris Davis, on the level, on the go, and at WIBC.com.
You're listening to the Hammer and Nigel Show.
Oh, hello. My name is Nigel. Jason Hammer's here with a special guest on the hotline.
Ryan Morse is a meteorologist for our news partners over at Wish TV. He's a busy dude today. He's on TV. He's calling radio. Right now, Ryan, you are the king of Indianapolis media, my friend.
That's right.
What's going on, guys? I wouldn't quite say that.
Let's get into it here. It feels like we have this conversation every day, but we could see some severe storms tonight. What are we looking at?
Yeah, so here's the deal. We have a slight 2 out of 5 risk. Certainly this spring we've had plenty of risks higher than that, but still have to pay attention as we're going through the next couple hours, specifically south and west of Indianapolis. So our severe threat time frame is mainly going to be from 5 o'clock to 11 o'clock, with the earlier side of that time frame, south and west of the metro area. Eventually, we will see some cells developing, all forms of severe weather on the table. Those cells will merge into a cluster, and I'd anticipate that cluster of storms to potentially make it up to Indianapolis later on in our threat level, basically 10 o'clock onward. So that's kind of what we're going to be watching over the next couple hours. Again, all forms of severe weather will be on the table.
I am looking at the wishtv.com interactive radar right now as we speak, Ryan. And I'm seeing some stuff in Dallas and Oklahoma City and that region that looks red and nasty, and it looks like it kind of could be headed like northeast. Is that one of the things you're looking at, or am I way off base?
It's actually the stuff in Illinois. So we have yet to see the showers and storms develop. They're going to be popping up in southern Illinois. It's been nasty for some of those areas, yeah, like you were mentioning, eastern Texas, exiting into Arkansas, but that part's going to remain to our south.
Okay, good. Good. I was wrong.
Yeah, I didn't want to say you're way off.
You mean the actual meteorologist was right and you were wrong? I can't believe that. This is my shocked face. Holy hell. All right. Hey, before we let you go, Ryan, it's Kentucky Derby week. I know you're a horse guy. You've been to the Derby. Any thoughts on the Derby this week?
Well, first off, the Oaks. I wanted to start with the Oaks because that's Friday. That's the fillies. Yep. The horse that I kind of have a little stake in, the sisters racing in that one. So I think it's Ballerina d'Oro for the Oaks is where I'm going. And then for the Derby itself, I think I'm going to go – I think it's Sandman, the gray horse, which is the son of American Pharaoh.
Okay. All right. So we're going to have a lot of Derby talk on my sports betting podcast this week, and I'm always trying to get some insight, some intel, so I appreciate that. One more time here before we let you go. I know you've got some TV stuff to do and you're super busy. Give us that timeline of action tonight.
All right, yeah, so 5 to 11 o'clock, really 5, 6, 7, maybe even 8 o'clock. That's all going to be south and west of the metro area. We have yet to see much develop in southern Illinois, but it will be developing in the coming hours just because there's clearing out ahead of the line of showers and storms. The cells eventually merge into a cluster, and that cluster of storms should be on the way to the metro area basically around 10 o'clock and afterwards. Hopefully, as it clusters up, the severe threat starts to go down, and that's kind of the hope, at least for the metro area, even though the risk is a bit higher to the south and west.
Check him out on Wish TV 8, wishtv.com, and all the social media platforms. Ryan Morris, we appreciate you, man.
All right, thanks, guys.
You got it. Nigel, I'm going to say something, and I want you to just hear me out. Promise you're not going to laugh at me. Promise you're not going to throw your arms up like our old producer Ari used to do, okay?
Okay.
Van Jones, voice of reason.
Come on!
You told me you weren't going to pull an Ari.
We've said this before, actually.
We have.
We have said this about Van Jones, talking head, former Obama advisor for CNN.
One of the folks that is on cable news that can actually criticize his own party and does on the regular. So Van Jones speaking last night about the current state of the Democratic Party. And his takeaway, the Cliff's Notes that you're about to hear here, is that, look, we've got to be something more than just Orange Man bad.
Hanging around, hoping that somehow Joe Biden was going to stop Donald Trump looks quite foolish. And that said, you need two things. You need a fire alarm and you need a fire station. A fire alarm is somebody who can raise the concern level in an appropriate way. And we also need a fire station. Who's going to put out this fire? The opposition is important, but what's the proposition? What are Democrats offering besides, outrage to Donald Trump and Elon Musk?
And they can't be real specific about what that outrage is, I think is...
he exists.
That's the outrage, that he's the president, that he exists. I mean, I think the outrage now is that they can't claim that the election was influenced by Russia. There was no collusion.
He's not an illegitimate president because he won the popular vote too. Not that that matters.
But that is dead on. Yeah, you can be outraged at Trump, but what exactly has he done specifically? I mean, I could name a list of 1,000 things that people said were going to happen once Trump took the presidency, from, deporting gay people to, am I going to be able to get married to my same-sex partner? Am I going to be able to have insurance? Just, things, ridiculous things that have not happened yet.
They took fringe things and then they went wild with it.
I mean, Obama said if you like your doctor, you could keep your doctor.
Right.
Right? And then you ended up getting fired because of Obamacare.
Correct.
So I don't want to hear this. All this stuff about Donald Trump is... It's dead on when somebody like Van Jones on CNN, who was an Obama advisor, says, yeah, there's outrage at Trump, but we got to figure out what it is first.
And it has to make sense. You can't be Michelle Obama saying Donald Trump's deportation policy keeps me up at night. He's not even come close to the amount of people that your husband deported. And your husband was the one that invented the kids in cages. So people aren't buying that. And then what I mean when I say they take fringe causes and then run wild with it. So you've got a very fringe group of leftist lunatics. Donald Trump's going to make it so I can't have an abortion on every corner. He's going to make it so I can't have an abortion moments after birth. Well, yeah, but they take that and then they spin it into he's taking away women's health care. He's taking away women's rights. What's next? Their right to vote? This is how these lunatics talk. And sadly, there's a lot of dummies that buy it.
Trump's Treasury Secretary, Besant, we've we haven't had. Oh, I would love to have Basent on because he's really good at what he does, and he's like this billionaire hedge fund manager, and he's probably the highest-ranking LGBTQ official in the history of this nation. Not Pete Buttigieg, but Basent.
And
out of the Treasury.
Basent, a lot of people might not know that he's gay because unlike Mayor Pete, he doesn't tell you about it every 5 seconds.
It's not like CrossFit. Oh, you know somebody does CrossFit. You know how you know somebody is in CrossFit because they'll tell you about it in the first 10 seconds of talking to you about them.
Hi, I'm Jason. I do CrossFit. Oh, thanks for telling me. I'm going to go to the bathroom now.
Hi, I'm Chasten Buttigieg. I'm gay, and I'm the Transportation Secretary's boyfriend. Husband.
Chasten, that guy.
Chasten.
That guy wants the spotlight more than his husband does. Chasten really thought he was some sort of celebrity because he was married to Mayor Pete. Remember when they had that fundraising thing where Pete was still running for president at this point?
Yeah.
If you make a donation, you get put into a drawing. You could win tickets to go see the play Hamilton with Chasten. I don't want to go with Chasten. Chasten sucks. Can I just get the 2 tickets or maybe go with Pete? No, you get stuck going with Chasten.
But my
no
point,
thanks.
But my point, can I go? Yeah, I'd rather go with Pete than Chasten, I think.
I'm donating to Pete. That's who I want to go with. I mean, I don't want to go with Chasten.
But my point is, when Van Jones says, they got to find something to be outraged about, there's nothing to be outraged. One of the things is Trump is going to take away all the rights of the gays, LGBTQ community. He's, all of this. And by the way, the trans community is separate from LGBTQ. I don't think a lot of one community wants to do a whole hell of a lot with another, and that's a separate discussion.
The LGB isn't on board with a lot of the T and the Q and the plus.
Right, exactly. So that's my point in saying Basent is honestly the highest gay official in the nation's history. I mean, there's something to be said for that.
It's the Hammer and Nigel Show.
Hi, Pat Sullivan here from Sullivan Hardware and Garden in Allisonville Home and Garden by Sullivan. Our stores are blooming with flowers, hanging baskets, bedding plants, perennials, annual containers, shrubs, trees, and much more. With so many colors and varieties, it's the best looking selection you'll find anywhere. Come see the difference. Why, you ask? Our plants are from top quality Midwest growers, many right here in Indianapolis. Check the specials on our patio furniture like all-weather wicker, Berlin Gardens poly, cast aluminum, teak, and more. You can even choose your own custom cushions on most sets. We specialize in excellent quality mid-price patio furniture that's in stock at our 37,000 square foot warehouse, all priced at 30% off. See our large selection of grills, Weber, Traeger, and the Big Green Egg. Shop, play, experience. Spring with Sullivan's. 71st and Keystone, 49th and Penn, Cicero, and Allisonville Home and Garden by Sullivan in Fishers.
Here's a harsh fact. 40% of women and nearly 20% of men suffer from varicose or spider veins. Left untreated, these veins can cause tired, heavy legs, swelling, burning, cramping, aching, even restless leg syndrome. In some cases, it can lead to serious health risks like blood clots. USA Vein Clinics offers minimally invasive treatments that take as little as 15 minutes, covered by most insurances. Call 317-516-6861 and schedule your appointment today. Don't wait. 317-516-6861 for free information today. Imagine walking, exercising, and sleeping peacefully again. Varicose and spider veins won't go away on their own. USA Vein Clinics can help. Call 317-516-6861 for fast, easy, affordable solutions. USA Vein Clinic's treatments are covered by most insurance plans. Don't put this off any longer. Call 317-516-6861.
This is a story of the one. As a maintenance specialist for university housing, he knows college students can major in wear and tear. Plus, housing so many students doesn't leave a lot of room to house all the supplies he needs. That's where Grainger comes in. With over 1 million industrial-grade products and fast, dependable delivery, Grainger carries the quality products he needs so he doesn't have to. From a new door hinge to a whole new faucet. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
I'm sure everyone says this, but my mom really deserves the world. This year, I finally found a Mother's Day gift that comes close. She loves Hellsberg, so I'm getting her these timeless gold earrings she can enjoy for years to come. They feel special enough to show how much I truly appreciate everything she does for me. And I mean everything. I even sent my dad a link to the Diamond Eternity band he'll be getting her, too.
Save up to 50% on Mother's Day gifts Mom will cherish forever. Visit Hellsberg.com or a store near you.
Mother's Day's almost here. Sundown Gardens is fully stocked with high-quality annuals, trees, shrubs, decor, and more. 186th Street and Spring Mill Road, sundown.gardens.com.
Emma and Nigel here, inviting you to join us as we kick off the weekend every Friday around 5:45 with Beer Sample Friday, brought to you by our friends at Thompson Furniture and Mattress in Columbus.
Go where the pros go. Drexel Interiors for 1951 cabinetry. Visit Drexel's Kitchen and Bath Design Centers at 146th and River Road, North Shadeland, or drexelin.com.
Check out what's going on with 93 WIBC.
Listen to Tony Katz all week long for your chance to win 2 tickets to the Sancio Grand Prix on Saturday, May 10th at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. More info at WIBC.com.
And we will have that exact same contest in our program, hopefully, coming up a little bit later on. Hopefully, if the phones are working. Hopefully. Cross your fingers. Matt Bear.
7-minute delay on inbound 65 from MLK to Meridian Penn. Eastbound 70 slows from Belmont to the South Split for a 6-minute delay. Crash on the south side, Man Road south of Thompson Road. Crash east side, Washington Street, east of Mithofer Road. Traffic sponsored by Drexel Interiors. Go where the pros go. Drexel Interiors for 1951 cabinetry. Visit Drexel's Kitchen and Bath Design Centers at 146th and River Road, North Shadeland, or online at drexelin.com. I'm Matt Bear. Follow us for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
Storms later. Pretty good right now. 71 at the American Standard Cooling Weather Center. Nigel, if somebody doesn't know who Scott Jennings is, who's Scott Jennings?
Scott Jennings is, he's a political guy. He was Senator Mitch McConnell's advisor. Even earlier than that, he was President George Bush appointed him to the position of special assistant to the president in the early 2000s. Now, before I get to that, I'm looking at a picture of him right now. How old would you say Scott Jennings? He's a commentator on CNN now. How old is he, do you think?
52.
He was born in 1977. He's 47 years old.
Okay, so he's my age.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, I'm a year older than he is, and he's a lot more successful, a lot more accomplished. But he is the Republican on CNN, and I think you and I were theorizing off the air that he's a reason why people tune into CNN. We play a lot of clips from Scott Jennings when he's on these panels with all these lunatic leftist liberals that don't know what they're talking about, and he just absolutely demolishes them every single time. And I love watching it. It's great TV. CNN has somehow harnessed Scott Jennings, who has been there for probably 5 to 7 years now, and we're just kind of now starting to notice him.
Right. Because, like MSNBC, when they say we're bringing on a Republican to give a perspective, they'll bring up Liz Cheney. They'll bring up Adam Kinzinger, or they'll bring up somebody like that. And usually that's the game these liberal networks play. But with CNN, there's one real Republican, somebody that claps back, somebody that puts a lot of these folks in a debate body bag, if you will, and that's Scott Jennings. He actually showed up at the Trump rally in Michigan last night. And
yeah, I saw that.
I don't know if this was planned or if this was a surprise thing. Donald Trump brought him up on the stage, and take a listen to how CNN's Scott Jennings responded to the adoring Michigan crowd.
Flying in here today, and I said, look at these farms. I got to get a farm in Michigan, because when you own as many libs as I do, you got to put a place to put them all. Thank you all very much.
Hi-oh.
Wow, the mic drop moment from Scott Jennings.
When you own as many libs as I do, you got to have a place to put them all. That's pretty solid.
I wonder how, two-part question, how Scott Jennings' co-workers, the panelists that he shares TV with every night feel about his appearance with Donald Trump on stage at a rally. And I wonder how the executives, the people that are trying to get ratings at CNN, feel about one of their guys on stage with Donald Trump. That's a pretty unusual move. If this was a campaign rally, it'd be totally different. But this is just, the president bragging about his first 100 days.
Right. I'm wondering if they've got some sort of data or intel that shows when Scott Jennings is on the panel, more people tune in. And maybe he knows that, so he's got the leverage here, right? Okay, if more people are tuning in to watch me go toe-to-toe with pretty much everybody in this room, because they put him up there with a panel of like 5 or 6 people, and he's fighting everybody. Everybody that's up there. And he dominates. He makes these people look silly. I'm wondering if he's bringing in some numbers. And I know CNN is a super liberal-leaning network, but they're not number one. They're far from number one. If you knew you could get people to watch a Scott Jennings show that would be conservative, if you're an executive at CNN, would you consider it?
No question. Absolutely. And, I think there was a lead up to his introduction there on stage. Donald Trump saying something about CNN and maybe he's going to get this guy fired. I haven't seen the actual, I'm paraphrasing here. But I think that this guy is a star. A shining star, and it took him a while to get there on CNN. Like I say, who's heard of him before the past 2 years of the campaign leading up to the 2024 election?
Can you imagine how old Don Lemon would react if he knew he was blown out, and then they gave a show to Scott Jennings, and it does well?
I would watch that show.
I would too. I'm not going to lie to you. He's smart, he's articulate, and he's got just enough smart ass in him to where he doesn't put up with crap.
And I don't know how he'd do on his show on his own, but I love how he does on the panel, taking on the other people.
Well, that's what Tucker used to do. Like Tucker kind of made his name over at Fox for that crossfire.
Yeah.
He'd have these lunatics on, and next thing you know, oh, Johnny Tough Guy. Okay. All right, we're going to talk about this Pacers game. What happened after the game, all of that next.
Promises made, promises kept. Governor Mike Braun's bold leadership is already getting things done for Hoosiers. Governor Braun and State House Republicans are delivering massive property tax cuts. We're talking nearly $1.5 billion in relief. That's real money back in homeowners' pockets. But Braun didn't stop there. He cut local income tax capacity by nearly $2 billion and capped the local income tax rate to protect Hoosiers. And Braun led the fight to reform local government taxes, giving Hoosiers more say by requiring referendums be held in high-turnout elections. Thanks to Governor Braun and State House Republicans, your property taxes will be lower, future increases are reined in, and the system is now more transparent. Visit HoosierHope.org and let Governor Braun and Republican legislators know you support historic property tax cuts. Paid for by HoosierHope.org.
Comcast Business helps turn today's small businesses into engines of modern business. It's how restaurants become reliably up and running neighborhood favorites. How retailers become seamlessly restocking, cyber-securing, must-visit shops. And how healthcare offices become the data managing caregivers that we all depend on. With reliable connectivity, enhanced cybersecurity, advanced fiber solutions, and Wi-Fi backup, Comcast Business is powering the engine of modern business. Powering possibilities.
Now through May 4th, new customers can get started with 300 megabit internet and Security Edge for $69 a month for 24 months. And ask how to get free installation on qualifying bundles. Plus, find out how to get a $500 prepaid card on a qualifying gig bundle. Call today. Restrictions apply. Not available in all areas. Requires enrollment in paperless billing and automatic payments with bank account. Equipment, taxes, and other fees extra. After 24 months, regular rates apply.
Mecum Auctions returns to the Indiana State Fairgrounds May 9th through 17th for Dana Mecum's 38th Original Spring Classic. Join us for the fun, fast-paced, high-energy Mecum experience. For avid collectors, first-time buyers, and enthusiasts of all ages, there's something for everyone. And with more than 3,000 vehicles up for auction, it's a chance to bring home your dream car. Register to bid and buy tickets now at Mecum.com. That's Mecum.com.
Still getting around to that fix on your car? You got this. On eBay, you'll find millions of parts, guaranteed to fit. Doesn't matter if it's a major engine repair or your first time swapping your windshield wipers. eBay has that part you need, ready to click perfectly into place for changes big and small. Loud or quiet. Find all the parts you need at prices you'll love. Guaranteed to fit every time. But you already know that. eBay. Things, people, love. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
Attention Indiana homeowners. Are you dealing with a wet and moldy crawl space? Hi, I'm Adam Swain with Swain Co. Crawl Space and Basement Repair. Your real, local, Indiana family-owned experts dedicated to fixing your crawl space right the first time. And with our new no interest, no payment financing, you can get the repairs you need without breaking the bank. Don't let crawl space water problems dampen your spirits. Call Swain Co., Indy's most trusted waterproofing experts at 317-407-1868 or swaincollc.com.
Will you be there?
This is just such a prestigious place and such hallowed ground.
Reigning Brickyard 400 champ and 2024 Indy 500 Rookie of the Year, Kyle Larson will try to make history racing and winning the Indianapolis 500 presented by Gainbridge and the NASCAR Coca-Cola 600 in the same day.
I love you, Indiana fans. How about we try and kiss these bricks on the IndyCar?
Don't miss your chance to see Kyle Larson take on two-time defending champion Joseph Newgarden and all the stars of IndyCar at the 109th running of the Indianapolis 500 presented by Gainbridge. For ticket info, visit ims.com.
I gave it a shot, and I came in and had the procedure done. To me, it was amazing because I don't think I ever breathed that clear. I wish I would have done it 20 years ago.
Broadcasting from the Technology Recycler Studios, this is Indy's Mobile News, 93 WIBC. WIBC HD1 Indianapolis. The news starts now.
The president remains optimistic. Lisa Brady, Fox News, blaming his predecessor for the U.S. economy shrinking in the first quarter by 0.3%. Fox Business's Edward Lawrence at the White House.
When you look inside the numbers, the negative number reflected an uptick in imports to get in front of the tariffs. It also showed a large downturn in government spending and a deceleration in consumer spending, which was happening at the end of the Biden administration.
President Trump telling reporters during a cabinet meeting.
But we're turning it around. It's a big ship to turn around. And we're going to have the greatest country financially in the history of the world, I believe.
He says his tariff policy is attracting new investment in the U.S. Democratic congressional leaders have a different message.
Out in front of the U.S. Capitol, Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer characterized the Trump term as a failure that could see the government
slashing Medicaid, strangling Social Security, hurting our veterans. Total failure on helping American families.
House Minority Leader Hakeem Jeffries turned to the economy and promises of lower costs he said haven't been kept.
Far too many people in this country are struggling to live paycheck to paycheck.
Democrats standing with the leader say congressional Republicans are complicit, adding they'll point to the 2026 midterms to flip both houses and change course.
Fox's Gernal Scott, a late rally on Wall Street, the Dow finishing up 141. 10 more Americans are released by Kuwait, now 23 freed in the past few months, including military contractors and veterans held on drug charges and other allegations. Officials telling the Associated Press this was not part of a prisoner swap and that the U.S. was not asked to give up anything in return. Meantime, the Pentagon just announcing the potential sale of Patriot missile system equipment and support to Kuwait has been approved by the State Department. America is listening to Fox News.
Sometimes 93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
A shooter in Seymour. Right now, most of the rain is to the north, in the north part of Indiana, or just to the west of the Indiana-Illinois border. It's 69 on Monument Circle. I'm Chris Davis. Here's what's trending at 4:02. The front glass of the Jackson County Library busted out with a bullet about noon today. That's when Seymour police got a call about an active shooter, responded, and took the person into custody. One person was hurt, but it's still not clear if that was from a bullet or a flying glass. In Indianapolis, human remains discovered on the city's east side shortly after 10 this morning. Indy Metro Police say they used a cadaver dog to help find all of the remains. No ID, no cause or manner of death either. That was at Livingston and South Irvington Avenues. The goal of Slate Auto is to make an electric truck that's affordable. They've chosen to do that in Indiana.
A Slate cost in the mid-20s. Brand new.
The company's CEO, Chris Barman, formerly of Chrysler Fiat.
We took out everything that wasn't a car.
That means no fancy screen, colored lighting, cooled seats, self-driving, self-parking.
The company announced Wednesday it will build its first factory in the old R.R. Donnelly printing plant west of downtown Warsaw. When the factory is done, it's expected to employ 2,000 people. That should be sometime in late 2026 when it will offer the vehicles directly to customers, also saving money. Severe weather possible this afternoon after after 5, says Aaron Updike, forecaster with the National Weather Service.
And then as we get into tomorrow, more showers and thunderstorms will develop in the more early to mid-afternoon hours. With that, we're not expecting too much of a tornado risk, but there could be a damaging wind and isolated hail risk with that.
A comfort golden doodle at the Indiana State House.
So we had to make sure that he was very well behaved and knew how to move around someone who had disabilities. And as such, we were able to get trainers that get him nicely well trained, making him into the dog that could become Alfie, the State House dog.
Allison Slatter, a policy advisor in the state treasurer's office. She says Alfie's role at the State House is to put smiles on people's faces, possibly the opposite of what lawmakers do. You've got traffic and weather coming up.
Comcast Business helps turn today's small businesses into engines of modern business. It's how restaurants become reliably up and running neighborhood favorites. How retailers become seamlessly restocking, cyber-securing, must-visit shops. And how healthcare offices become the data managing caregivers that we all depend on. With reliable connectivity, enhanced cybersecurity, advanced fiber solutions, and Wi-Fi backup, Comcast Business is powering the engine of modern business. Powering possibilities.
Now through May 4th, new customers can get started with 300 megabit internet and security edge for $69 a month for 24 months. And ask how to get free installation on qualifying bundles. Plus, find out how to get a $500 prepaid card on a qualifying gig bundle. Call today. Restrictions apply. Not available in all areas. Requires enrollment in paperless billing and automatic payments with bank account. Equipment, taxes, and other fees extra. After 24 months, regular rates apply.
93 WIBC traffic. Here's Matt Bear.
All right, Chris, southbound 65 stop-and-go traffic from MLK to Meridian Penn, an 8-minute delay. 10 minutes delayed, eastbound 70 Tibbs Avenue to the south split. Crash, south side Man Road, south of Thompson Road, and another one, Thompson, Harding Street. That's reported as an injury crash with entrapment. Crash on the east side, Washington Street at Mithofer Road. Looking at eastbound 465 stop-and-go Keystone Avenue to Allisonville Road. Northbound 465 northwest side slow, 86th Street up to 865. And a crash on the west side southbound 465 at Washington Street. It is blocking the right shoulder, causing a slowdown. Traffic sponsored by Rapid Radios. Rapid Radios are instant push-to-talk walkie-talkies offering national LTE coverage for a limited time. Go to rapidradios.com now for 60% off and free UPS shipping at code radio and get an extra 5% off. I'm Matt Bear with traffic on the 5s. Follow us at WIBC Traffic.
Here's your forecast from the American Standard Cooling Weather Center.
Scattered showers and storms will be developing in the next couple hours, a slight risk of severe weather. Tonight, our low temperatures will be in the lower 60s with rain chances backing off after midnight. I'm Wish TV, Storm Track 8 meteorologist Ryan Morse for 93 WIBC.
I'm Chris Davis, on the level, on the go, and at WIBC.com.
Hammer and Nigel.
Can you believe these characters are weirdos? So let's rock it!
What's the weather update over there, Mr. Meteorologist?
Well, I was going to defer to you because you were very confident we weren't going to see anything. And then we had Ryan Morse, the actual meteorologist, come on and basically call you a moron.
Well, he goes, what did he say? I didn't want to say you were completely wrong. He was very nice and polite, and I really appreciate that.
Okay, so here's the challenge for tonight. Okay. I'm going to leave it up to you, Nige, because you were the one that had the hot take if we're not going to get anything. If we get nothing, I want you to go outside on your lawn tonight, the palatial estate of the Laskowskis, and you can just rip me. I was right. You were wrong. Kiss my blank, and then post that on our social media.
Okay.
But if we get rain, your ass better be out there and saying, you guys were right. I'm wrong. I'm an idiot. Standing there getting soaking wet. It's going to be one or two videos tonight, Nige. Okay. Which one are you going to post? That's the question.
All right. Agreed.
Pacers last night, 119, 118, overtime win.
Incredible game. Incredible.
Against those mouthy Milwaukee Bucks. And it's not just because, the Pacers were in a playoff series with them. There's been bad blood between these teams for a couple of years. It's Bobby Portis popping off at the mouth. It's Trent running his mouth. It's even Giannis. Everybody thinks Giannis is this wholesome, down-to-the-earth, innocent guy. He gets a little cocky and arrogant, too. But here's the situation. Bucks were up by 7 damn points with 35 seconds to go in overtime. Let's go to the Pacers Radio Network.
Porter tracks it down, puts it on the floor, feeds it to the front court. They get it to Trent. Almost. He did lose it. He fumbled it out of bounds.
Big turnover.
He fumbled it out of bounds.
Pacers down
You
one.
got to be kidding me. And now the Pacers can go ahead with 10 seconds to play.
Here we go.
Here comes Halliburton. Hits the timeline with 7. Outside the arc with 5. Driving in the lane at the goal. He lays it in with 1 3/10 seconds to go. Milwaukee has no timeouts. They have to go the length. Ball is going to be played in by Antetokounmpo. He gets it to Trent, and this one is over.
Not just the game, the series.
Go home.
Wow.
Bobby Portis, take your ass back to Milwaukee. What a game.
Man, and the guy that turned it over, that started that whole clip there, Trent Jr., was killing the Pacers with three-pointers. He was disseminating. He was destroying. I sat there and watched most of that game. I turned it on as soon as I got home, rushed home, got the boy down there, watched it on the couch with me. Girls went upstairs and watched some reality show, which is great. Fine. I don't care. But Trent Jr. just destroying us. There's a couple of that white guy on the Bucks that just...
Their version of T.J. McConnell was killing us.
Exactly. How many times? I don't know. You were there. I'm such a pessimistic Pacer fan. When I watch that game, this game's over. This game's over. They could be up by 6 points with 2 minutes left. This game's over. The Pacers aren't going to win this game. And surely, with 30-plus seconds left, down by 7, I thought, no way in hell. I might as well just turn this off. I'm surprised. Was anybody getting up and leaving?
Nobody left. Okay. It was a spirited crowd, man. And the dude you were talking about, the kid that hit all those threes for the Bucks, Trent, he was woofing at the fans. So a little basketball karma came back and bit him at the end with that turnover.
Yeah, but it was such a lame turnover, too. That was the
like a Buckner, ball between his legs.
Right. I
mean, he just catches that, hits a couple free throws, that's the game.
But that guy was not even looking at the basket and hitting three-pointers.
He was
just throwing it up.
For the Pacers, man, T.J. McConnell kept the Pacers in it. Miles Turner played well. Aaron Nesmith has been great. And then Halliburton carried the Pacers home at the end. After the game, on the big microphone, the PA mic, the Pacers radio host interviewed Aaron Nesmith. And again, beating their rival, listen how fired up he was.
Aaron, this is a building that Reggie Miller played in. This is a franchise that's seen all sorts of impressive playoff comebacks, and I'm not sure they've ever seen anything quite like that. How would you describe what you guys are just able to accomplish?
Yeah! That's how we feel!
And at that point, nobody had left. Everybody was still there. Like, people were going down the stairs and the escalators. Bobby sucks!
I saw the footage. Who sucks?
Bobby Portis.
Oh, okay. Yeah, Portis is one of those trash talkers.
Yeah.
No, I saw the footage you put up on social media, and you were there with you were there with Jake. That was awesome.
So after the game, and this is what sucks. This is what everybody's talking about. It should be the great effort the Pacers had to claw back in. Halliburton changing that narrative that he was overrated.
Down by 20, by the way.
Right.
20 at one point.
And the final go-ahead bucket, Tyrese just takes Giannis off the dribble. Like, takes him to the bucket and scores. But after the game, Tyrese Halliburton's dad runs out onto the court, and he's got like a towel. It's got a picture of his son on it, and he's putting it up in Giannis's face, and then Giannis just stares at him. Like, next thing you know, they're talking some trash. And then a little bit later on, Ben Mathurin comes over, and Giannis and Ben Mathurin start shoving each other. Here's Giannis after the game talking about the incident with Tyrese Halliburton's old man.
I believe being humble in victory. That's how I am. Yeah. Now there's can be a lot of people out there that are like, no, when you win the game, you gotta talk shit, and it's a green light for you to be disrespectful towards somebody else. I disagree. I've won the championship. They haven't. Losing the game, emotions run high. Having a fan which at the moment I thought he was a fan, but then I realized he was Tyrese's son, which I love. Tyrese, I think, is a great competitor. He was his dad, sorry. Coming in the floor and showing me his son a towel with his face. This is what we do. This is what we effing do. This is the F we do.
Yeah.
This, I feel like that's very, very disrespectful.
Oh, sorry about that, but guess what? He's not a player. Maybe if a player would have been doing that. Maybe if one of the Indiana Pacers would have been holding up a towel with Tyrese's Halliburton's picture on it and saying, this is what we do. This is how we do it. Then he had a point. Don't get in an old man's face. That's the way I feel about it, man. That's. I know there's large disagreement on this thing, and this is probably what we shouldn't be talking about. We want to be talking about going to Cleveland and the Pacers, their next challenge. But I thought it was hilarious, and Giannis getting in an old man's face was a bad look.
All right, so I'm going to hold off for just a second because I want to hear from Tyrese Halliburton before I weigh in.
I'm sorry.
You know, as far as the incident between Giannis and my pops, I had no idea it happened until I got to the back and was showed the video. Me and my pops have talked about that, and I don't agree with, you know, what transpired there from him. You know, I think basketball is basketball, and let's keep it on the court. And I think that he just, you know, got excited, saw his son make a game winner, and came on the court. But I think we had a conversation, and you know, I think he just needs to just allow me to just play basketball, stay over there. I'll come to him.
Okay, you can stop it right there.
To celebrate.
Long story short, if there's any franchise in the NBA that should know what can happen when fans and players get a little sideways with each other, it's the Indiana Pacers, right? And Ron Artest was sitting courtside last night. Like they put him on the Jumbotron.
That's hilarious.
Meta world peace. I'm okay with everything. Now, if Giannis would have just knocked the teeth out of the old man, let's just say that he didn't know who he was. Some fan runs on the court. You run on the court as a fan, you are fair game.
The game was over.
Doesn't matter. You're not allowed to be on the court. So, look, if Giannis would have turned his lights out, I would have been fine with that. And I'm also fine with Tyrese's old man giving him the business. Just be careful what you wish for. Because I don't know if you guys have seen Giannis. This dude may be the most cut athlete in the world.
Giannis is huge, and that's what I'm saying. Getting, you know, stooping down and getting in the face of an old man is just, I mean, the entire, like, oh, this is disrespectful. That disrespect. Every time you shot a free throw, the entire stadium was disrespecting you, bro.
Right. Tell that to Bobby Portis. If you're big into respect, Giannis, tell your boy Bobby Portis to maybe cut out the cheap shots and knock out some of the antics.
I mean, how long does it take you to shoot a free throw? Like 25 seconds?
Right.
And the crowd would count down audibly the entire. Were you guys doing it last night whenever Giannis
would get to
deafening
in there. Yes. Yes. And I think it got to him a few times.
Disrespectful. Disrespect. He did shoot hit a lot of free throws, but it did get to him a few times.
He had 30 and 20. He's a bad man. He's a bad dude. But I don't know if this is a cop-out answer. I'd be okay with anything that happened.
I don't know that I'd be
If you're a player and you run into the stands, we know what happens there, right? All bets are off. Well, if you're a fan and you run on the court, again, all bets are off. Like, be careful what you wish for. Like, I'm not going to go up to John Bones Jones in a ring, get in his face, call him every name under the sun, and not expect to get my lights turned out. You know what I'm saying?
But it wasn't exactly like Halliburton's old man was flipping him off, telling him F you, blah, blah, blah. He was holding up a towel of his son and saying, this is how we do it, or something to that effect.
You're a fan, man. You're not allowed to be on the court. Sit over there. I think they let his dad get a little loose because they know who he is.
Yeah.
Like Miles Turner's dad always sits courtside. Halliburton's dad sits courtside. So they probably got a little lax with him, and he got fired up. But, man, you can't be running out there. And, again, I'm good with him talking that trash. If old man Hallie wants to smoke, go get you some. But be ready, because if Giannis wanted to retaliate, we'd be having a different story about old man Halliburton today. And last thing, before we go to Matt Bear's traffic, friend of the show, Eddie White, this rant on the post-game show last night was chef's kiss.
Oh.
They are together. It is not one guy. It's everybody coming together at different times. Look at Pascal. Didn't have a good game tonight. So what? We win the frickin' game. Mathurin didn't have double figures. So what? We won the frickin' game. Hey, we were down 7 points with 40 seconds to play in a playoff game in overtime. Nobody has come back since 1996. But who did? The Indiana frickin' Pacers. It's Pacers, sports, and entertainment. And if you weren't freaking entertained tonight, and you didn't fall in love with this basketball team tonight, and you're not wearing gold like I am tonight, you are not alive, my friend. You are not alive. Yeah. Boom, baby. Boom, baby. Boom, freaking baby.
Friend of the show, Eddie White, host of the Pacers postgame show.
That was amazing.
Matt Bear.
Looking at eastbound 70 stop-and-go traffic, Tibbs Avenue into the south split. Inbound 65 grinding before MLK to Meridian Penn. The crash cleared on the west side, southbound 465 at Washington, still jammed past Rockville Road. Northwest side, northbound 465 stop-and-go traffic from 86th Street up to 865. Eastbound 465 slows from Keystone Avenue over to Allisonville Road. At inbound 69 stop-and-go traffic from 106th Street to 82nd. It's a crash. Thompson Road at Harding Street on the south side. It sounds serious. Also a crash, Man Road south of Thompson Road. And a crash on the east side, Washington, east of Mithofer. Traffic sponsored by Rapid Radios. Rapid Radios are instant push-to-talk walkie-talkies offering national LTE coverage. For a limited time, go to rapidradios.com now for 60% off and free UPS shipping. Add code radio and get an extra 5% off. I'm Matt Bear. Follow us for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
72 at the American Standard Cooling Weather Center.
I guess I'm glad that I bought the FanDuel subscription so I could watch the games. I
got to work on that illegal stream game, Nige. Got to work on that illegal stream game.
There's people on the YouTube chat right now saying why did they ban the games from regular TV? And I'm like, they didn't ban it. That's just the way it is.
It's a stupid league policy if it's on NBA TV.
Yeah.
And if you don't have the FanDuel channel, which used to be called Bally's, now it's called FanDuel, then you're SOL.
And I did have Bally's, but Metronet got rid of their cable altogether, and I had to go with the YouTube. So now I'm a YouTube TV streamer, and that's how I get my local stuff, national stuff. So
hopefully now being in the second round of the playoffs, all games will either be ESPN, ABC, TNT. Hopefully that's the case. We'll see.
I doubt it.
We're going to play America's fastest growing game sensation. Is This Anything? Next.
Yeah, we can't predict the markets. We sure can't trust the markets. So where do we put our trust when it comes to our retirement? That's the fiduciary advisors at Trajan Wealth with Indiana values and veteran-led. Matt Bear here. What's up? Trajan Wealth advises through Hoosier values like smart money management and loyalty to the customer. Call today and schedule your first appointment and get to know the team. 317-480-4040 or visit TrajanWealth.com. Trajan is a fiduciary, meaning they have to act in your best interest. Their advisor get to know you, work with you as a team in optimizing your investments. They're always monitoring the markets, meaning you can sleep well at night knowing your retirement is in good hands. Call and schedule a consultation at 317-480-4040 or visit TrajanWealth.com. Remember, your first appointment is on them. Advisory services offered through Trajan Wealth, LLC, an SEC-registered investment advisor. Paid advertisement.
Here's a harsh fact. 40% of women and nearly 20% of men suffer from varicose or spider veins. Left untreated, these veins can cause tired, heavy legs, swelling, burning, cramping, aching, even restless leg syndrome. In some cases, it can lead to serious health risks like blood clots. USA Vein Clinics offers minimally invasive treatments that take as little as 15 minutes, covered by most insurances. Call 317-516-6861 and schedule your appointment today. Don't wait. 317-516-6861 for free information today. Imagine walking, exercising, and sleeping peacefully again. Varicose and spider veins won't go away on their own. USA Vein Clinics can help. Call 317-516-6861 for fast, easy, affordable solutions. USA Vein Clinics treatments are covered by most insurance plans. Don't put this off any longer. Call 317-516-6861.
If Ernest Hemingway was alive today, would he say this to you?
Shakespeare, Mark Twain, Edgar Allan Poe, all great writers. And after reading your book, I simply must add you to the list.
Wait, you don't have a book yet, so make a free call to Page Publishing. Turn your book idea into publishing gold.
800-215-6818. 800-215-6818. That's 800-215-6818.
You ready to build your custom dream home? Check out Joyner Homes based out of Greenfield. See one of their model homes in person anytime. It is a great way for you to experience the customization and quality of a Joyner Homes custom built home. Plus, you can meet with a new home specialist to learn about their building process. Available lots if you don't already have one. Find out about floor plans and where they build. Model homes are open 7 days a week from noon to 5 and walk-ins are welcome. Find out more at joynerhomes.com.
Sometimes an identity threat is a ring of professional hackers. And sometimes it's an overworked accountant who forgot to encrypt their connection while sending bank details.
I need a coffee.
And you need LifeLock because your info is in endless places. It only takes one mistake to expose you to identity theft. LifeLock monitors hundreds of millions of data points a second. If your identity is stolen, we'll fix it, guaranteed, or your money back. Save up to 40% your first year with promo code NEWS at lifelock.com. Terms apply.
I'm sure everyone says this, but my mom really deserves the world. This year, I finally found a Mother's Day gift that comes close. She loves Hellsberg, so I'm getting her these timeless gold earrings she can enjoy for years to come. They feel special enough to show how much I truly appreciate everything she does for me. And I mean everything. I even sent my dad a link to the Diamond Eternity band he'll be getting her, too.
Save up to 50% on Mother's Day gifts Mom will cherish forever. Visit Hellsberg.com or a store near you.
This hour on 93 WIBC is powered by Sundown Gardens, Hamilton County Spring Nursery Headquarters.
Hammer and Nigel presents
It depends upon what the meaning of the word is.
Is this anything?
All right, let's rock and roll.
Rock and roll, man.
Is this anything? 2 horses in Arizona couldn't make it out of a mud pit on their own.
Oh!
So an entire team of rescuers were brought to the scene. Here is Betty, a Friends of Wild Horses, talking about the rescue by a group of 7 individuals.
Urgent mare drowning in mud. When I got there, they had already pulled the foal out of the mud. There was one gentleman named Andy, and he ended up being a major hero of the day because he went into that mud with no hesitation, which is kind of dangerous because you've got a wild horse that is thrashing in the mud trying to get out. One of the photographers put her lunch bag underneath the mare's head to keep her head above the water because she kept going underwater. I think time was of the essence because she was struggling and she was going under the mud and she was getting exhausted. I would have gone out. I think it would have been too late for this mare and foal.
I'm done. I'm glad they're okay, and this is something that we talked about with the fireman and the police officer, the IMPD fire and the fire guy that was in here. Would you risk your life to save an animal? And this is kind of the same thing, but this on my mind when we're talking about horses in mud pits sinking and drowning.
Oh no!
Do you know where my mind went when I was a kid? 1984. No. There was a movie called Never Ending Story. Allison, we familiar? You're a little bit younger than us.
No.
You've never seen Never Ending Story.
No, and if there's a dying animal, I don't want to.
It's the most traumatic scene of all time from a movie from my childhood is when Atreyu and his horse Artax. Was it Artax? I think it's Artax.
Artax.
They're trying to make their way through the swamp of sadness. But if you let the swamp of sadness get to your brain, you get to your head, you just stop where you are and you sink into the mud. And I'll be damned if that idiot horse didn't let the sadness get to him. And I said idiot horse because I think that's what they call him in the clip here.
Come on! Artax! Fight against the sadness, Artax!
Fight.
Artax, please. You're letting the sadness of the swamps get to you. Artax! Stupid horse! You gotta move or you'll die! Oh, please!
Stupid horse.
I won't give up! Don't quit! Artax!
Allison, what had happened there was the horse suffocated and died in the mud.
I hate you guys. This is
Artax,
awful.
please! The last thing you
Stupid
see,
horse.
That's what he said. I said idiot horse, didn't I? It's a stupid horse. But I loved how Atreyu got so mad at the horse as he was dying for being sad and called him just insulted him.
Right.
At the very
The
end.
last thing the horse is probably going to hear is you insulting him as he suffocates to death. You rotten little... Never mind.
Just drowning. But that was, never... I mean, if you're a guy my age, late 40s, and that was a traumatic scene when I was a kid, watching that little boy's horse drown in the swamp of sadness.
The YouTube chat. Ann, I'm crying just listening. Kathleen, I couldn't watch that.
Yep.
Hoosiers Hang Banners. One of my favorite movies as a kid.
Yep.
Libertarian Dragon. Too much.
I'll fast forward it every time. Every time. I watch it with my kids a few times, and we fast forward that part.
Last one. Is this anything? Tennis legend Andre Agassi will play in his first professional pickleball tournament in Florida today. He's a doubles partner with the #1 ranked female pickleball player in the world, Anna Lee Waters. She's 18. He's 55 years old. Is this anything?
Yeah, this is something. Pickleball taking over the world. It doesn't matter how old you are. I love pickleball. I love playing. I suck. My neighbors, Scott and Erica, have a pickleball court. We play with them quite a bit. It's great exercise. And like my neighbor, Scott, again, he's like this tall dude. Have you met him?
I think I've met him before.
Rob has met him. He's like 6'5", 6'6". He's like he could play me. He plays me and my wife sometimes, just him. It's like, so it's me and my wife on one side of the court and him. And he's like Neo in The Matrix, like when he's blocking bullets. And like me and my wife are just firing at him back and forth. And
right. You know who's a really good tag team in pickleball? And I think they played around Indy, the Hansborough brothers. Remember Tyler Hansborough used to play for the Pacers? Psycho T. And his brother Ben played for the Pacers for a little bit too. A buddy of mine was like pretty serious in pickleball, and he got to this tournament, and he had to play against the Hansborough brothers.
I'm telling you, it's taken on a new life of its own.
Here's a little Hammer and Nigel Records tribute to this huge sports moment.
Oh, yeah.
There's a brand new game.
Oh, dear.
Everybody seems to want to play. Even though at first it may sound lame from its funny name. Let's play pickleball. Badminton and tennis. Come on, babe, get with it. It's like ping pong, but bigger. Everyone's a winner. Bring your sweat socks and yacht rock. Baby, won't you join me for some pickleball? We'll buy some gear and maybe we'll turn pro. Everybody here wants to know how to play pickleball.
It's fun. I love it.
Drake on the YouTube chat. Nigel actually seems like he has a heart, showing he cared so much for that stupid horse. It's the Hammer and Nigel show.
Gotta love summertime. It's for enjoying outdoor music and vacations, and our pals at AAA Hoosier Motor Club can help you save on both. AAA is now the official partner of Ruoff Music Center, and AAA members are going to enjoy some big-time benefits. Early entry into concerts, access to the AAA Premier Lounge. Can't wait to go see Chris Stapleton this summer.
Concerts at Ruoff, always a good time, always a fun time. Same with going on a vacation. And AAA members save with access to hotel discounts, rental car discounts, and a lot more, along with complimentary travel planning. Plus, if you run into trouble on the road, AAA has you covered. Flat tire, dead battery, run out of gas. AAA is there 24/7, 365, no matter where your travels take you. So do yourself a favor. Join AAA today. AAA.com, 844-GO-AAA-GO, or stop by your local AAA office. Hammer here from my friends at Diamonds Direct. And guys, there's some big things coming up. Mother's Day and graduations. It's time to hit up Diamonds Direct. It's right there at Keystone at the Crossing by the Green Bridge. My man Nev, he's the manager there. He's awesome. Chris, she's a saleswoman. She always works with me. She's a rock star, and nobody takes care of you like Diamonds Direct. It's the customer service that keeps bringing me back. So again, Mother's Day, graduation, or maybe you want that engagement ring. Maybe you're thinking about popping the question. Nobody's got a bigger selection, lower price, and better customer service than Diamonds Direct. Keystone at the Crossing. Tell them Hammer and Nigel sent you.
Hello, my name is Nate Clancy. I'm with Labor's Local 120. I've been with Labor's Local 120 for over 40 years now.
For members of Labor's International Union of North America, giving back is part of their commitment to the Indy community, like helping the Soapbox Derby.
We painted the bridge. The Wilbershaw Bridge is an iconic bridge for the Soapbox Derby. It's been there forever. It was, needing work.
When Indy or surrounding communities need help, LIUNA steps up.
Members that went over there, we seen that it was needing work, power washed, done the painting, just anything that was needed, and it looks amazing now.
This is Chris Bricky, business manager of Labor's Local 120. While all our members are skilled, highly trained men and women, we are also your friends, neighbors, Little League coaches, and volunteers here in Indy.
Here at the local, I like volunteering in the community. Just every little bit helps. I really got a real joy in doing that.
We build Indy for good jobs and stronger communities. We are LIUNA Local 120.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
The Ships for America Act. Severe storms are a possibility this evening, says the National Weather Service. It's overcast now in downtown Indy. Showers and storms developing now to the west of the Indiana-Illinois border. It's 70 right now. I'm Chris Davis. Here's what's trending. The Ships for America Act announced today in D.C. by Indiana Senator Todd Young and Senator Mark Kelly of Arizona. The bill is meant to make it financially easier for companies to build more ships and work with our allies to do it.
It's designed to take risk out of our supply chain. Keep working with friends and allies. That's part of economic resiliency.
Why do we need it? Young says we have about 80 ships in international waters compared to 5,500 from China. Shattered glass on the door of the Jackson County Library came from a bullet about noon today. Seymour police took one person into custody after a 911 call about an active shooter. One person was hurt. Still not clear if that was from glass or a bullet. If you're keeping up with what the feds are doing to stop illegal immigration, the Trump administration says it's making progress securing the southern border. Fox's Bill Malugan has the latest.
A DHS source tells me ICE currently has nearly 51,000 aliens being held in federal detention. So here's where they're at in the first 100 days. ICE announced they've deported 65,682 illegal aliens, and they've arrested another 66,463 aliens, 75% of which have criminal convictions or charges. The largest operation ICE has run yet. It's called Operation Tidal Wave. It ran all week long in Florida last week, netting at least 800 arrests in just 4 days, though Fox is told that number topped 1,000.
You've got traffic and weather in 1 minute.
Spring in Indy, and if you hate to paint, do what your neighbor Don did. He called Rhino Shield.
Well, the home was built in 1948. Paint on the aluminum siding was peeling, and I couldn't find anyone who would repaint it until I called Rhino Shield.
Rhino Shield's better than paint, and the crew?
Painted all my aluminum siding, and I've got a front porch that runs the whole length of the house, and all the pillars and everything. And once they were gone, I couldn't even tell that they were there.
With Rhino Shield's 25-year transferable warranty, you'll never have to paint your home again. And right now, you can have Rhino Shield for 15% off the regular price.
Well, I've told a lot of people, do the Rhino Shield. It's really a great product, and if you don't want to paint the house, that would be the way to go.
Here's Rhino Shield's Shane Smith.
This offer is limited, so call me at 888-RHINO-41. That's 888-RHINO-41.
Don't paint.
Don't vinyl.
Go Rhino!
Never paint your house again. Rhino Shield.
93 WIBC traffic. Here's Matt Bear.
Chris Davis, northbound 465, stop and go from 79th up to 865. Eastbound 465, grinding Westfield Boulevard past the White River. Inbound 65, 12-minute delay from 38th Kessler to West Street. Eastbound 70, stop and go Tibbs Avenue to Meridian, Illinois. Crash Southside Thompson Road at Harding Street. Stay away. 3 cars involved. There's injury and entrapment. Southside eastbound 465, stop and go traffic from 70 over to Harding Street. Traffic sponsored By Drexel Interiors. Go where the pros go. Drexel Interiors for 1951 cabinetry. Visit Drexel's Kitchen and Bath Design Centers at 146 and River Road, North Shadeland, or online at drexelin.com. I'm Matt Bear. Follow us for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
Here's your forecast from the American Standard Cooling Weather Center.
Scattered showers and storms will be developing in the next couple hours, a slight risk of severe weather. Tonight, our low temperatures will be in the lower 60s with rain chances backing off after midnight. I'm Wish TV, Storm Track 8 meteorologist Ryan Morse for 93 WIBC.
I'm Chris Davis on the level, on the go, and at WIBC.com.
You're listening to the Hammer and Nigel Show.
U.S. GDP declining 0.3%.
Not good.
So basically, what that means is the economy shrinking for the first time in 3 years. What are we supposed to make of that, Hammer? Are we blaming Donald Trump? Are we blaming Joe Biden? Donald Trump has basically said that he is still working with Joe Biden's economy. I guess I'm in the position of saying, like, I don't, whatever, okay?
Whatever?
Yeah, because I'm not feeling it. Are you feeling it? Are you
My
feeling
401k. I made the mistake of looking at my 401k recently.
Okay, but the
and it's down
stock
substantially.
Market, it's down substantially, but it'll come back. And the stock market is already coming back. But the shrinking economy, the first time in 3 years, are you feeling it? Is anybody happening to have that feeling like, oh my God, I just woke up today and I feel like this economy has shrunk over the past 3 years?
I still see things being expensive. Now, it's not as expensive as it were. But like airline tickets, for example, it's still expensive as hell to get on an airplane and go somewhere. Didn't used to be that way. It was pricey, but it wasn't like, oh my God. Same thing with like rental cars, a number of things. Like eggs is the poster boy for all things. Egg prices have gone down, but there's some stuff that didn't. So to be fair, I think had the numbers been better, you'd see a celebration from the White House. Donald Trump would have went to Michigan. He would have had another rally. It only took me one quarter to fix this thing. But that's not the case. It went down just a little bit. Now, is that fair totally to Donald Trump? No, it goes back a little bit to the previous administration. But had this been Joe Biden taking over some sort of economy, we would have said the exact same thing. So there's two things here. It's what's really happening and how should the media cover this. I think the prices will go down, but there's also a very good chance with a recession if this whole tariff thing doesn't play out. Donald Trump's got a lot riding on these tariffs. And if he doesn't get that fixed, then people still feel the pinch of a recession or their 401ks, losing $20,000 in a couple of months.
Yeah. Well,
it's going to be an ass whipping in the midterms.
They don't get it turned around in the midterms. But right now, I'm just talking about right now. You see the news. Oh my gosh, GDP shrinks 0.3%. Is it affecting anybody? Really?
No, but I want good news.
I want good news too. And I still don't know. With these tariffs, I understand what Donald Trump is trying to do.
I do too.
He's playing the long game. Just like you mentioned with the 401k, it's the long game. And the stock market is back. It's come back. It's not as good as it was. And it was a lot worse a couple of weeks ago. But the past few days, it's been back in the green. And again, the stock market doesn't. It does, but it does. Like, I'm not a heavy Wolf of Wall Street investor. You know what I mean?
Right.
My 401k is all I care about. And any analyst, any advisor will tell you, just because of what happened a couple of weeks ago when things took a huge dip, don't, withdraw your 401k.
Right. Shouldn't even really look at it, to be honest.
Shouldn't look at it, to be honest.
Just let it do its thing, let it ride.
Exactly like you said.
But I made the mistake of looking at it, and it's like, wow. I'm not afraid to lose a few dollars here and there.
Yeah.
I gamble on sports, but
it's going to come back.
Boy, that was a big number.
I think it's going to come back, and I think you got to give it time. And I understand what Trump is trying to do. He's trying to get manufacturing. There's already car manufacturers coming back here in certain parts of the United States to manufacture, and because of the tariffs, there's obviously technology, investing hundreds of billions of dollars. That was one of Donald Trump's bragging points last night. Several different companies, including Apple, including NVIDIA, investing $500 million in United States manufacturing in terms of, I don't know, chips, whatever.
I love the way they're talking to you, Chip. Bring the heat.
I'll beat your ass.
I'm all jacked up on Mountain Dew. All right, so I'm going to ask you a question. We have to do this contest coming up, and I'm going to cross my fingers that we can pull it off. Do you want to do the story about Beaver farts before or after the contest? Beaver farts now
before,
or Beaver farts later?
I would say let's do it later in case the phones end up not working. Does that make sense?
Yes.
You want to do that instead?
Sure.
You want to break now?
All right. Allison says she believes the phones are working. So let's do the contest now and talk Beaver farts later.
Okay.
239-9393. We need caller number 9. Tickets to the Sancio Grand Prix. Saturday, May 10th, the road course at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Caller number 9 at 239-9393. We'll play a fun little game for you. Now, coming up later on, maybe just a contest for social media, since we couldn't do it yesterday.
Oh, we had to cancel it yesterday. Yeah.
So maybe we'll do something for the YouTube chatters a little bit later on. We haven't done a contest on YouTube yet. We've had Facebook, we've had Twitter, we've done Instagram. Let's take care of our YouTube folks. We'll have a contest for them later on. But right now, caller number 9, 239-9393. We'll play a fun little game for Grand Prix tickets, the Sancio Grand Prix, the road course at the Speedway. That's next.
Well, it's that time of year again, spending a lot of time in your garage. You work out of your garage. You got the kids' toys in the garage, the beer fridge, the TV out there. I've spent a lot of time outdoors in my yard, in my garage, and it's so easy to get dirty. But with my Galaxy Concrete coating, it's also easy to get clean. My Galaxy Concrete garage floor is out of this world. And they didn't use epoxy either. They use polyurea, which is the new premium standard for coatings. And it's a totally different garage. You should see the before and after pictures. Galaxy just did the utility room in my basement as well. Looks great. Check out their website to see pictures and get a quote, galaxyconcretecoatings.com, or call them 751-9070.
Promises made, promises kept. Governor Mike Braun's bold leadership is already getting things done for Hoosiers. Governor Braun and State House Republicans are delivering massive property tax cuts. We're talking nearly $1.5 billion in relief. That's real money back in homeowners' pockets. But Braun didn't stop there. He cut local income tax capacity by nearly $2 billion and capped the local income tax rate to protect Hoosiers. And Braun led the fight to reform local government taxes, giving Hoosiers more say by requiring referendums be held in high-turnout elections. Thanks to Governor Braun and State House Republicans, your property taxes will be lower, future increases are reined in, and the system is now more transparent. Visit HoosierHope.org and let Governor Braun and Republican legislators know you support historic property tax cuts. Paid for by HoosierHope.org.
Since we opened our doors, UC Bank has been committed to the communities we call home. Building financial wellness, UC is proud to offer customized lending strategies and innovative resources to our vibrant communities. UC Bank, building community one family, one street, one city at a time. Member FDIC.
This is a story of the one. As a maintenance specialist for university housing, he knows college students can major in wear and tear. Plus, housing so many students doesn't leave a lot of room to house all the supplies he needs. That's where Grainger comes in. With over 1 million industrial-grade products and fast, dependable delivery, Grainger carries the quality products he needs so he doesn't have to. From a new door hinge to a whole new faucet. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Lanny went to college and racked up huge debt.
A little bit over $100,000.
For a degree he couldn't use? Now what?
I had a friend that went to my computer career.
They even helped him get hired immediately after graduation.
One of the things I love about IT is that you can work from anywhere you want.
You could become an IT pro in just months, including cybersecurity and the basics of AI with zero experience at mycomputercareer.edu.
It worked for me, and I know it can work for you.
This is one student's experience. Individual results vary.
Beck Toyota has been sold to the Hubler Automotive Group. But before the Hubler name comes, everything goes. And when Hubler says everything goes, we mean it. Every pre-owned Corolla, Camry, RAV4, Highlander, Tacoma, Tundra, every car, every truck, everything in the showroom, everything on the lot. Need credit? Managers will be on site, accepting applications for immediate review. Plus, Hubler's got you covered. Every Q-certified vehicle includes our 100,000-mile limited powertrain warranty. Before the grand opening of Hubler Toyota, everything goes. It's your chance to save like never before. Don't miss it. When Hubler says everything goes, we mean it. On US 31 South in Indianapolis, across from Hubler Chevrolet. Visit HublerToyota.com. Before the Hubler name comes, everything goes. Warranty on select models less than 9 years old.
Mother's Day is almost here. Miss M's Home and Garden is fully stocked with high-quality annuals, trees, shrubs, decor, and more. State Road 135 in Bargersville.
Tune in Saturdays 9 to 1 for the Home and Garden Show for advice and fun. Brought to you by Michaelis. Water, storms, fire, and wet basements. Life happens. Michaelis happens to help you through it.
Go where the pros go. Drexel Interiors. For 1951 cabinetry, visit Drexel's Kitchen and Bath Design Centers at 146th and River Road, North Shadeland, or DrexelIN.com.
Think of it as WIBC on 2x speed. Big opinions, great moments, and just enough chaos. The WIBC Mashup Podcast brings it all together in one fast, fun listen. New episode each weekday. Subscribe wherever you get your podcast.
All right, Matt Bear, what's going on?
Inbound 65, 17-minute delay from 38th Kessler down to West Street. Eastbound 70, 10-minute delay, Tibbs Avenue into the South Split. Inbound 69, stop-and-go traffic from 106th Street to 82nd. Eastbound 465, stop and go from Westfield Boulevard over to Allisonville Road. South side, southbound 465, grinding after Sam Jones Expressway over to I-69. And a crash on the south side, Thompson Road at Harding. 3 cars involved, please avoid. Traffic sponsored by Drexel Interiors. Go where the pros go. Drexel Interiors for 1951 cabinetry. Visit Drexel's Kitchen and Bath Design Centers at 146th and River Road, North Shadeland, or online at DrexelIN.com. I'm Matt Bear. Follow us for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
All right, number 1, it's 71 degrees at the American Standard Cooling Weather Center. Number 2, we need 20 people to give us a thumbs up, to give us a like on the YouTube chat. That gets us to 100. It gets people off of our back. So if you want to jump in the chat, if you want to watch the cameras, give us a thumbs up. We need 20 awesome Hoosiers to do that. And number 3, it's time to play a fun round of One at the Track or Famous for Crack.
And now, time to play One at the Track.
Little Al wins by just a few tenths of a second.
Or Famous for Crack.
And the next time you get in trouble, call a crackhead.
One at the Track or Famous for Crack on the Hammer and Nigel Show. Could be a crackhead.
Joe was caller at number 9. Joe, how the heck are you?
How are you, fellas? I'm doing good.
All right, Joe, here's the deal. I'm going to give you the name of somebody. It will either be somebody who has won the Grand Prix at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway or somebody who has had a very high-profile battle with crack cocaine. You get 2 out of 3. I'm going to give you these tickets, okay?
Right on.
All right, here we go. Number 1, One at the Track or Famous for Crack, Alex Palou. Alex Palou.
One at the Track.
There you go.
Defending champion of the Grand Prix. Won it last year. All right, Joe, get this right. We're going to give you the tickets here. One at the Track or Famous for Crack, Marion Barry.
Famous for Crack.
Yeah, there we go. As a matter of fact, I think Chris Rock, one of the great comedians, has an awesome take on the former Washington, D.C. mayor.
Marion Barry. And the Marion Barry, how he get a ticket? That means that even in our finest hour,
We got a crackhead on stage.
Marion Barry, crack-smoking mayor of D.C., who was reelected after all that.
Got a statue, I believe.
Got a statue in D.C.
Oh, my God. Is Chris Rock just a comedian, like, every time he talks, no matter what he says, you laugh?
It's funny. His delivery
no matter
is great.
The delivery. That's it. Exactly.
Joe, my man, you stay on the line, and Allison's going to take care of you, okay?
Thank you, guys.
Even at our finest
You got
hour.
it. We got a crackhead on stage. All right. I think we've made people long enough.
Made what?
We've made people wait long enough.
On
Caught
what?
on camera. Captured on camera.
Yeah.
A wildlife group captured a beaver farting. Now,
is this Pornhub? Is this a documentary from Brazzers?
This is not any of those things. This is nature.
I see what you're saying, like National Geographic.
Correct.
Oh, okay.
Unlike people, the beaver doesn't do it for relief or amusement. It's for a purpose. Here is, and I'm going to ask you to please be mature, Beaver Officer Lauren Jasper talking about why beavers cut the cheese.
We put camera traps out to try and track the beaver activity, and we got loads of really great stuff. So we got the beavers building their dams, grooming, feeding, swimming. But one that did stand out and made everyone in the office laugh was the beaver breaking wind. Beavers, near their tail, they have glands that can secrete this oil called castoreum, and that actually helps them to mark their territory. So we think what the beaver was doing in the video is actually marking its territory and communicating to any other beavers out there that actually this is my patch.
Or it could have just, got a hold of some bad fish.
Correct. But I disagree with the
itself.
whole angle that beavers don't do this just like people do. I've been known to mark my territory a time or two before. Right? You get a few crave case of White Castles in me, some warm Budweiser, I'm marking my territory for a while.
What was Lauren Jasper's official title at this park she works at?
Beaver Officer. Lauren Jasper.
Something she's aspired to be ever since a little girl. She was police. Some people are EMS, lawyers. Fighting for women's rights, librarians. Mommy, I want to be a beaver officer.
I want her name tag more than I want anything in the world. YouTube chat. We'll have a contest for you coming up next hour.
Comcast Business helps turn today's small businesses into engines of modern business. It's how restaurants become reliably up and running neighborhood favorites. How retailers become seamlessly restocking, cyber-securing, must-visit shops. And how healthcare offices become the data managing caregivers that we all depend on. With reliable connectivity, enhanced cybersecurity, advanced fiber solutions, and Wi-Fi backup, Comcast Business is powering the engine of modern business. Powering possibilities.
Now through May 4th, new customers can get started with 300 megabit internet and Security Edge for $69 a month for 24 months. And ask how to get free installation on qualifying bundles. Plus, find out how to get a $500 prepaid card on a qualifying gig bundle. Call today. Restrictions apply. Not available in all areas. Requires enrollment in paperless billing and automatic payments with bank account. Equipment, taxes, and other fees extra. After 24 months, regular rates apply.
It's the Bash Sale, the biggest automotive sale in history. Your local Bill Estes dealerships are coming in hot with deals on trucks you don't want to miss. We have a huge selection of trucks at one easy online stop. Brand new Chevy, Ford, GMC, Jeep, Ram, and Toyota trucks with a massive pre-owned selection too. Plus, our fair and direct upfront pricing means what you see is what you pay. Shift into savings during the Bash Sale. Only at Bill Estes dealerships, and drive away in your dream truck today. Online at BillEstesTrucks.com.
You ever try fixing your car and realize you're missing that one part? Yeah, been there. That's why eBay's my go-to. They've got millions of parts, guaranteed to fit. I'm talking brake pads for when yours have seen one too many miles of stop and go. Oil filters, because you don't mess around with your engine care. Even got this cold air intake on my watch list. I might just go for it. To keep the ride cool and your DIY streak hot. Find all the parts you need at prices you'll love. Guaranteed to fit every time. eBay. Things people love. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
I'm sure everyone says this, but my mom really deserves the world. This year, I finally found a Mother's Day gift that comes close. She loves Helzberg, so I'm getting her these timeless gold earrings she can enjoy for years to come. They feel special enough to show how much I truly appreciate everything she does for me. And I mean everything. I even sent my dad a link to the Diamond Eternity band he'll be getting her, too.
Save up to 50% on Mother's Day gifts Mom will cherish forever. Visit Helzberg.com or a store near you.
Literally no one else in the world I'd use for my HVAC needs than an American Standard heating and air dealer because they're built to a higher standard. My equipment, my dealers. Here's Hammer to tell you about one of those outstanding local independent American Standard dealers.
How about B&W HVAC, plumbing, and electrical? Stay ahead of the breakdowns and costly repairs by becoming a member of their Premier Club. When you're a Premier Club member, you get the VIP service. You get the annual checkups. You get the VIP treatment. And when you got crazy weather like we've got in Indiana, that's a big deal. 1 minute it's windy, 1 minute there's tornadoes, the next minute it's snowing and cold. This is why it's so important to be a Premier Club member. Get that priority scheduling and discounts. Call B&W today, 317-214-0108. That's 214-0108, or visit bplusw.com. American Standard Heating and Air, built to a higher standard. Tell them Hammer and Nigel sent you.
From a fast break to recovery, Indiana hospitals are here for every Hoosier, regardless of their ability to pay. That's why we're teaming up with legislators on a winning playbook to lower costs and protect access to care across our communities. Because good policy doesn't leave anyone on the sidelines. Learn more at HoosierLifeline.com.
Paid for by the Indiana Hospital Association.
Tired of digging through noise to find real news? Go straight to WIBC.com. Local stories, statewide impact, national headlines, info that matters. When news breaks, WIBC.com is already on it. Stay on the know while you're on the go. Broadcasting from the Technology Recycler Studios, this is Indy's Mobile News, 93 WIBC. WIBC HD1 Indianapolis. The news starts now.
April ends with reassurance at the White House. On Lisa Brady, Fox News. President Trump says he had to reset the table on trade and that his policies, including tariffs, are driving big investments in the U.S.
After 2 months, we have $8 trillion. There's never been a number like that. And that includes chip companies, car companies, every form of manufacturing, high-tech companies.
This after a new report showing the first contraction in 3 years for the U.S. economy, shrinking instead of growing in the first quarter by 0.3%. The president says he's cleaning up a mess left by his predecessor. And during a morning plunge on Wall Street, posted, "This is Biden's stock market, not Trump's."
This is not Joe Biden's economy, Donald. It is your economy. It is the Trump economy. It is a failed economy.
House Minority Leader Hakeem Jeffries and other Democrats in Congress vowing to win the midterms and change course. But the Trump administration argues other numbers in today's report show strength.
There's many components of GDP, so I wouldn't read too much into one quarter. And we're in the middle of sausage making right now, right? We're sort of restructuring global trade and how funds flow.
U.S. Energy Secretary Chris Wright, as Republicans in Congress work on tax cuts and spending cuts that Democrats say will end up gutting Medicare, which the president denies. Palestinian grad student Mohsen Madawi, arrested by ICE agents earlier this month, says he's not afraid of the president after a federal judge in Vermont released him.
We, the people, will hold the Constitution accountable for the principles and values that we believe in.
His attorneys say he was detained over free speech after he founded a student group with Mahmoud Khalil, another Columbia grad student with a green card who's been fighting deportation, accused by the Trump administration of leading disruptive protests and supporting Hamas. America is listening to Fox News.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
A shooter in Seymour. Light showers in central Indiana and in the western part of the state, but nothing more than that at the moment, though more storms are possible tonight. It's 68 in downtown Indianapolis. I'm Chris Davis. Here's what's trending at 5:02. The front glass of the Jackson County Library busted out with a bullet about noon today. That's when Seymour police got a call about an active shooter, responded and took the person into custody. Sergeant Stephen Wheelis says a person at the library on the second floor where the shooter made his way is responsible for actually holding him.
Just a patron of the library approached him and was able to tackle him and to hold him there until police officers arrived.
The person who was hurt was hit by flying glass and was the circulation attendant at the desk. The suspect is 18-year-old Emiliano Cuevas Bravo of Seymour, charged with 2 counts of attempted murder and 1 count of criminal recklessness with a deadly weapon. America's shipbuilding capacity is as much an economic security issue as a military one, says Indiana Senator Todd Young. John Herrick reports.
Speaking at the Hudson Institute in Washington Wednesday, Young said he's co-sponsoring what's called the Ships for America Act. He says this allows America to revamp its shipbuilding industry and work with allies.
They have capital. They have capital looking for opportunities right now. They see opportunities here because of their core competencies in shipbuilding.
Which is why he wants to keep working with said allies. Among other things, it would establish a 25% investment tax credit for shipyard investments and a shipbuilding financial incentives program. John Herrick, 93 WIBC Mobile News.
Strong to severe storms possible over the next 24 hours.
We've got a couple of active days here for today and tomorrow. We're going to have some storms move in late this afternoon into the evening, so 5 p.m. onwards. And with those, there could be some severe wind gusts.
Forecaster Aaron Updike with the National Weather Service. You've got traffic and weather in 1 minute.
Your nose is for breathing. Your mouth is for eating. And if you're breathing through your mouth, it's not because your body wants to. It's because it has to, because your nose isn't working properly. And although you've lived like this, it's no way to live, and it's having a significant impact on your life. I know you know this, and I know that taking action isn't always convenient. But at Advent, we've done all we can to make changing your life for the better as easy as possible. I'm Dr. Madan Kandula. With tens of thousands of our patients, a thorough breathing triangle evaluation, along with a simple 20-minute in-office procedure called balloon sinuplasty, has opened their nasal passages, allowing them to breathe freely through their nose for good. And there's a good chance this procedure can do the same for you. We'll help you breathe through your nose again, and it will change your life.
Go to AdventKnows.com to schedule your appointment, because Advent knows when you breathe well, you live better. AdventKnows.com. Results may vary. Most insurance accepted.
93 WIBC traffic. Here's Matt Bear.
Southbound 65 at the north split. It is a crash blocking the right lane, stopping traffic. Back to the White River Bridge, and right now we have a delay of 27 minutes to make it through that. 27 additional minutes. Eastbound 70, stop from Tibbs Avenue into the south. A split moving in parts, about a 7-minute delay right now. South side, eastbound 465, stop and go traffic before 70 to Harding Street. Northwest side, northbound 465, slow roll from 79th up to 865 and eastbound 465, stop and go Westfield Boulevard over to the White River. Crash west side, Washington Street at Girls School Road. Crash south side, Thompson Road at Harding. Traffic sponsored by Unbound.org. A girl in Kenya dreams of becoming a doctor. An elder in Guatemala dreams of being part of a community. Reach out and change their world, and it will change your own. Unbound.org. I'm Matt Bear. Follow us for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
Here's your forecast from the American Standard Cooling Weather Center.
Scattered showers and storms will be developing in the next couple hours, a slight risk of severe weather. Tonight, our low temperatures will be in the lower 60s with rain chances backing off after midnight. I'm Wish TV, Storm Track 8 meteorologist Ryan Morse for 93 WIBC.
I'm Chris Davis, on the level, on the go, and at WIBC.com.
Hammer and Nigel.
Can you believe these characters are weirdos? So let's rock it!
So, Hammer, I think you and I spent the last 4 years pretty much laughing at the media's coverage of Joe Biden. I mean, treating him with kids' gloves. Up until the very end, that is, when they knew he was not going to be the nominee. And, I mean, anything from saying that he was, sharp as a tack, cogent, as Morning Joe would say? What's his accent when he says?
This is the best he's ever been. He's more than cogent.
Cogent. So,
you hack.
The liberal media kind of now just starting to figure out, wait a minute, people have been laughing at our coverage of the previous president, Joe Biden.
You know, all of a sudden, they've seen the light. They all of a sudden start to feel a little backlash.
They've seen the ratings.
They've gotten outside of their bubble, right? Once you get outside of your bubble of butt sniffers, and look, the same could be said about Republicans over at the Indiana State House. Once you get outside of your inner circle of yes men and butt sniffers, you're going to find out people are pretty critical of what you do. So this brings us to this little back and forth here between MSNBC's Chuck Todd, longtime host of Meet the Press on NBC, and former CNN reporter Chris Cillizza. They spoke to each other on some sort of podcast, and they're all victims here, right? It's nothing but Republican talking points that they carried water for Joe Biden and covered up his cognitive decline. Let's start with Chuck Todd here. Listen to him get pissy.
This is not a media failure. This is a failure of the Democratic Party. And I just sort of the virtue signaling that some people have done to try to say that the media missed this story. They didn't miss this story. David Ignatius wrote, I just refuse to accept this stupid premise because it's a manufactured right-wing premise in order to stain the media. The media's got plenty of things to attack them for, and there are MSNBC and CNN and pundits that absolutely carried water for Joe Biden, but they're not journalists. It's not like this. This isn't WMDs, where the White House worked with the mainstream media to manufacture a story that did not exist. That was a press failure, massive press failure. This was not that failure.
Huh? So weapons of mass destruction, when the Bush administration said, yeah, we're going to start this Iraq war because we think they've got weapons of mass destruction. And the media all said, sounds good to us.
Okay, let's go with it. Sounds good.
Okay, that was a mistake. Like, I think if you ask most Republicans, they will say that war was a mistake.
Everybody.
Right.
Everybody says that was a mistake.
But if you ask Democrats, specifically Democrat journalists right now, or TV hosts, because there is a difference between a journalist and a TV host sometimes, they'll all say they did nothing wrong in covering Joe Biden. The dude was falling up and down the stairs. He was speaking gibberish time after time.
The debate.
He couldn't do a press conference without a pre-approved list of people to call on. And you're so right, Nige. That debate, they're still going to play the card of, well, we don't think he had dementia. We think he was perfectly fine. It's those evil Republicans that have done worse things than us. So here's the other side of that conversation, Chris Cillizza. He's a former reporter for CNN. He covered the Biden White House. Let's hear his perspective.
So, yes, when I watched Joe Biden, the eye test made me think, as I watched him, man, he has really slowed down. And I'm not sure he should run for a second term. It did not make me think, man, he definitely, something is really wrong with him, and I'm going to cover it up so that he can win. No, absolutely not. Any study that you ever see about who reporters vote for, they vote for Democrats much more than Republicans. And I think what was going on here is I think it was an inherent and sort of unconscious bias more than a conscious bias, but I think the reporters covering this White House were too willing to take the Biden team's word for it.
Oh, bull crap. Bull freaking crap. I think we were just too trustworthy. That's our biggest downfall. That's our biggest trait. We're too trustworthy.
That's certainly not the problem with the Trump administration at all, in any way, shape, or form.
You said it in that interview, Chris. Most of you folks are super lib. You vote Democrat. Okay, you can't let that trust your judgment. You know, that's no secret. I lean to the political right. I'm outspoken about it. My son is probably going to get into politics as a Republican.
Oh, boy, he's going to regret that just by virtue of having you as his old man.
Oh, bring it. If you're going to go after him for going after me, don't threaten me with a good time. But we criticize our own a lot. Like, have you heard the way we talk about these folks over at the State House? Have you heard about the way we criticize Governor Holcomb and Todd Young and some of these mealy-mouthed, wishy-washy Republicans in name only, rhinos? We do that here. That's what we do on this show. That's what this radio station is good at. Hell, nobody hates Republicans more than Rob Kendall, and he is one. But the left can't do that. They're incapable of criticizing their own. I have fought with people on social media, Nige, where I've said, all right, here's my challenge to you. I will say something negative about Trump if you say something negative about the current state of Democrats or Obama. Let's do this back and forth. They can't do it. They won't do it.
I think it's pretty easy for Republicans to criticize, I don't know, Liz Cheney.
Sure.
I mean, I'm trying to just think of some example. Adam Kinzinger. I mean, you want to talk about why the Democrats lost. Yes, it was because of Joe Biden, his dementia-like qualities, and he was awful, and he stepped down, and just there was no process to get Kamala. You know, they just picked her to run. But the Democrats attaching themselves to Liz Cheney, who lost Wyoming as a congresswoman, and then the face of the establishment of the politics. That's one reason why. And then you have Jake Tapper. Let's go back to Joe Biden for a second. Jake Tapper of CNN. CNN carried the water. Carry the water is right. One of those clips that we played. We didn't carry the water for. Yeah, you absolutely carried the water for Joe Biden, and you covered up his cognitive abilities. And now Jake Tapper is writing some tell-all book, some expose about you wouldn't believe what went behind the scene, what went on behind the scenes for Joe Biden and what we saw, the things we've seen Joe Biden when he was president.
Right.
I mean, give me a break.
You're doing it now because he had his ass handed to him.
And you could make money off of it.
Because you're certainly not making money off your ratings right now. They are a dumpster fire. So, yeah, they got outside of their little inner circle of just yes men and butt sniffers, and they're realizing, wait a minute, people think we covered up Joe Biden's cognitive decline? Yes. We all saw it. The dude couldn't walk. He could not talk. He was having the good doctor lead cabinet meetings at the end. And you guys didn't say a damn thing. But yet, heaven forbid, there's a debate about a tattoo on a gang member. Then we've got every single investigative reporter, every single insider on the story doing that. Do not let these people off the hook. Do not let Joe Scarborough or CNN or MSNBC or ABC or that lying no good hack Nora O'Donnell over at CBS. I think she's kind of sliding out the door now. Do not let these people off the hook. They lied to you for years. Remind them of that. Matt Baer.
Eastbound 465 on the south side. Stop and go. Sam Jones over to I-69. Crash downtown. Southbound 65 in the north split, blocking the right lane and stopping traffic past the White River. That's a 25-minute delay. Eastbound 70 delayed by 7 minutes from Tibbs into the south split. Crash on the west side, Washington Street at Girls School Road. Crash downtown, Washington at New Jersey. Eastbound 465 north side, stop and go before Westfield Boulevard over to Allisonville Road. Northbound 465 on the northwest side, stop and go from 79th up to 865. Traffic sponsored by Rapid Radios. Rapid Radios are instant push-to-talk walkie-talkies offering national LTE coverage. For a limited time, go to rapidradios.com now for 60% off and free UPS shipping at Go to Radio and get an extra 5% off. I'm Matt Baer. Follow us for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
Depending on who you want to believe, we could get some storms later on. Meteorologist Ryan Morse of Wish TV says yes. Nigel says no.
I'm going to softball games tonight. I don't know what you guys are doing.
71 right now at the American Standard Cooling Weather Center. All right, YouTube chat. This is your time to shine. We've had contests on all of our other social media platforms. This is a YouTube chat specific contest. So if you've got a YouTube account, you can jump in this contest right now. Go to WIBC's YouTube channel. They are streaming our show live right now. We've got cameras and there's a live chat. I have written down a number on a notebook pad. It's a number between 0 and 100. If you can guess what the number is, and Nigel knows what the number is, And I'll show Allison here at the commercial break. Nigel picked the number. If you can guess what that number is, we'll give you tickets to the Sancio Grand Prix, the IndyCar road course race on Saturday, May 10th. 1 entry per person. You can only do it one time, okay? One time. So the first 100 people that weigh in, that can guess the number, you are in the mix. Nigel picked the number. Good luck. Go to the YouTube chat right now. First person to guess the number. If I find out you did multiple guesses, you will be disqualified. That's how we get down here. We're all about rules, law and order on the Hammer and Nigel Show.
Farnsworth Metal Recycling, a familiar face in Indy.
Farnsworth Metal Recycling will pay you cash for your scrap metal. Ray's Demolition and Farnsworth Metal Recycling may seem familiar to you, and that's because they are. They're trusted local family-owned businesses going back 3 generations in Indy with their familiar orange logo and a name you know. But you may not know they'll pay you cash for your scrap metal. Cash is king. Your scrap aluminum, steel, copper, and brass will get you cash from Farnsworth Metal Recycling. Just drop it off or schedule a pickup, and you'll put cash in your pocket. Ray's Demolition and Farnsworth Metal Recycling. Local names you can trust with 2 locations.
Farnsworth Metal Recycling, a familiar face in Indy.
Get cash for your scrap. Get started at farnsworthmetals.com.
Of course I love my parents, I really do, but often felt angry with them because I was always screaming so they could hear me on the telephone. All that has changed thanks to the CapTel phone from Relay, Indiana. We're so much better off because now my parents can read what I'm saying on the CapTel caption telephone. Our conversations are pleasant because through voice recognition technology, my words appear to them on an easy-to-read screen right on the telephone. Thanks, Relay Indiana.
Learn more at RelayIndiana.com.
Americans love using their credit cards, the most secure and hassle-free way to pay. But D.C. politicians want to change that with the Durbin-Marshall credit card bill. This bill lets corporate megastores pick how your credit card is processed, allowing them to use untested payment networks that jeopardize your data security and rewards. Corporate megastores will make more money, and you pay the price. Tell Congress to guard your card, because Americans lose when politicians choose. Learn more at guardyourcard.com. Paid for by the Electronic Payments Coalition.
Still getting around to that fix on your car? You got this. On eBay, you'll find millions of parts guaranteed to fit. Doesn't matter if it's a major engine repair or your first time swapping your windshield wipers. eBay has that part you need, ready to click perfectly into place for changes big and small. Loud or quiet, find all the parts you need at prices you'll love. Guaranteed to fit every time. But you already know that. eBay. Things, people, love. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
Hey, it's Matt Baer for Cochran Exteriors. Don't wait to beautify your home for summer for a fresh new look and increased home value. New siding by Cochran Exteriors is the answer. From James Hardy fiber cement siding to a big array of vinyl siding colors and styles, the experienced pros at Cochran have all the choices. Plus, a lifetime workmanship warranty and over 10,000 satisfied customers. For your free estimate, call Cochran Exteriors at 317-ROOFING or visit CochranExteriors.com. Tell them I sent you.
Got plans this weekend? Why not head to Honeysuckle Hill Bistro in Brazil, Indiana? Honeysuckle Hill Bistro is located inside our family's lakeside home. The menu changes weekly, and whether it's chicken to wine, we focus on serving Indiana-sourced items. One thing that's always on the menu is our version of the Hoosier breaded tenderloin sandwich. Can't decide what to order? You can order the Bites plate, where you get a sampling of everything that's on the week's menu. Honeysuckle Hill Bistro serves dinner Fridays and Saturdays 5 to 8 and Sunday brunch buffet from 11 to 2.
Lanny went to college and racked up huge debt.
A little bit over $100,000.
For a degree he couldn't use? Now what?
I had a friend that went to my computer career.
They even helped him get hired immediately after graduation.
One of the things I love about IT is that you can work from anywhere you want.
You could become an IT pro in just months, including cybersecurity and the basics of AI with zero experience at mycomputercareer.edu.
It worked for me, and I know it can work for you.
This is one student's experience. Individual results vary.
Inside Indiana Business Radio, the news you need to get ahead. Indiana's business news leader, weekdays at 6:32 a.m. and 5:56 p.m. on WIBC.
Go where the pros go. Drexel Interiors for 1951 cabinetry. Visit Drexel's Kitchen and Bath Design Centers at 146th and River Road, North Shadeland, or DrexelIN.com.
This hour on 93 WIBC is powered by Miss M's Home and Garden, Johnson County's Spring Nursery headquarters.
Are you really okay with this?
Are you okay? Everything's gonna be okay.
Are you okay?
Yeah, I'm fine.
I'm pretty far from okay.
Are you okay with this? On the Hammer and Nigel show.
Oh, yeah!
So we haven't found a winner for the tickets to the Grand Prix?
Not yet.
Okay, somebody was supposed to pick a number on the YouTube chat between 1 and 100.
0 and 100, yes.
I picked the number.
You did.
Nobody's picked it yet. I will give you a hint. Shaq.
Shaq. Okay. That's the hint. Now, we've said only one entry per person. So if I were you and you've got a YouTube account, I would go to the WIBC YouTube page right now, look at the previous guesses that are up there, maybe write them down because numbers are coming to a premium here.
No, and people, you guys are guessing. I'm looking at the YouTube chat. No. It's more complicated than that.
I'm not going to just give these away. It's got to be hard, right?
Shaq. I mean, come on, guys. The guy changed his name. Does that help?
I think that's enough.
Ringing a bell?
That's enough.
Is that ringing a bell?
I don't understand the clue, to be honest. I know what the number is, but I don't understand the clue.
Okay.
So you're going to have to explain that to me once we get somebody that's guessed the number.
Okay. It's complicated.
To quote Avril Lavigne, why'd you have to go and make things so complicated?
It's not that complicated. So should we go on with Are You Okay With This?
Yes, Allison, keep an eye on the YouTube chat, and if somebody gets the number, we'll let them know.
Stranded man airlifted from Mount Fiji. Guys climbing Mount Fiji, right?
Fuji.
Fuji? What'd I say, Fiji? Whatever, Fuji. I'm sure I could be whatever.
Hold on, we got breaking news.
Yes.
Breaking news. Somebody's got the number.
Vic Ferrari in the YouTube chat.
Vic Ferrari, 53. 53 was the number. Vic Ferrari. Now, Nigel, what was the Shaq hint?
Last name Leonard.
Oh, I was thinking Shaquille O'Neal.
I know.
You're sneaky.
I know.
Okay, I see what you did there.
Come on, everybody.
Okay.
Yep. Shaq Leonard from the Colts previously.
I didn't even think about that. That's really good. That's really good. So Vic Ferrari.
Wow.
Congratulations. You are the winner.
That was pretty hard.
That was a great clue, though. Like, man, I never would have thought about that. Vic, send us an email here, hammerandnigel@wibc.com, from your email account that's got your name on it, and we'll take care of you. Congratulations, Vic. 53 was the number picked out by Nigel.
I do want your opinion on this real quick. A stranded man airlifted climbing Mount Fuji. Then they had to rescue him again days later because he had to return to get his phone that he had left behind. Are you okay with this?
No. That's not how this works. So the dude climbing Mount Fuji comes to a point to where he can't go on. He's stranded. He has to get rescued. Okay, I'm willing to bet this kind of thing happens all the time. But this moron leaves his phone there, and then he goes back a couple days later and gets stranded again. At that point, I think you're leaving this guy there. And the other thing that I thought about was, all right, he got stranded with his phone the first time. Now you're telling me this numbnuts went back up there without his phone the second time because he was going to get the phone. No, you have to teach these people a lesson. Play stupid games, win stupid prizes. I'm sorry, but there's a 48-hour window on being a dumbass. No, we're not rescuing you. You're going to have to stay up there and freeze for a little bit. Maybe we'll rescue you, maybe we won't. But you're putting other people's life in danger because you're a moron.
Do you want to go with this Major League Baseball?
Let's do that.
Story? You're a baseball guy, man. A couple of announcers were left speechless momentarily during Monday's Orioles game. It happened when Ryan O'Hearn, you heard this guy?
I know Ryan.
Ryan O'Hearn hit a 3-run homer. Then after he hit the homer, he took some swigs off the homer hose. It's Baltimore's dugout celebration water funnel with an orange and black hose, right? I don't know. I've never seen this. I guess you celebrate after you get a home run. You take a drink out of the hose and you run the bases, right?
Yes.
But there's a mic next to it. So Ryan's colorful comments were broadcast live. We've bleeped out what he said, but one of the announcers had a good comeback.
And the hydration station. I guess the mouth should get cleaned out.
There's a lot going on there. Different teams have different home run celebrations. There was a college team this past weekend that went viral for having a very lewd celebration after a game. And the Orioles have this hose, the homer hose, which I think you can guess it gets a little graphic at times. So the announcers were there and they were taking a look at it. They were at a loss for words. Some audio came through.
Bleep my bleeping bleep.
But this isn't the first time Orioles broadcasters have had controversy. If you remember about 2 years ago, the play-by-play guy, who was one of the best in the business, he simply mentioned that the night before, when the Orioles had their doors blown off, that was a rough night for the Orioles. Well, the owners of the team got upset with him about that. We pay your salary. We write your checks. Don't you dare say we had a rough game. They got beat like 10 runs. It was like 10-0. So, yeah, they had a rough night the night before. It wasn't like they said, boy, that team sucked last night. I've seen teams suck before, but they were the suckiest bunch of sucks that ever sucked. That's not what he said. So the Orioles announcers are probably walking on eggshells here, thinking they're all going to get fired for this little situation involving the homer hose. All right, coming up next, our pal Tony Kennet. Tony Kennet will join us. He is in the swamp right now. I think he's down in D.C.
Yep.
He's doing some swamp stuff. We'll find out what's going on, and his show comes up tonight. That Chat, next.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
The library is normally a place for quiet, but not today. I'm Chris Davis with a special report. Stay tuned for an interview with Sergeant Stephen Wheelis of Indiana State Police about the shooting today at the Jackson County Library in Seymour. First, a check on the radar. Some storms showing up near Kokomo and just north of the Indy Metro. You could have some severe weather this afternoon, says the National Weather Service. Right now it's 70 on Monument Circle. I'm Chris Davis. Here's what's trending. So this all started about noon at the Jackson County Library. Sergeant Stephen Wheelis is with the Indiana State Police. I'm going to play a portion of the interview we did with him just a few minutes ago about what happened and why 18-year-old Emiliano Cuevas Bravo is in custody, charged with 2 counts of attempted murder and 1 count of criminal recklessness with a deadly weapon.
A male just prior to noon entered the front lobby of the library, was carrying a long gun of some kind. Fired at least 1 shot initially upon entering the library. Fortunately, nobody was struck by the initial shot. There was some glass breakage, and I think an employee maybe sustained some very minor injuries because of that. He worked his way to the second floor of the library, where just a patron of the library approached him and was able to tackle him and to hold him there until police officers arrived. And start to finish, we're looking at under 2 minutes. that it took for police to have him in custody.
The person who was hurt was the circulation attendant there at the circulation desk at the library. She was taken to the hospital. She is expected to be okay. The man who was arrested was booked into jail at about 3:30 this afternoon. We asked about a motive. Sergeant Wheeler says they do not normally discuss that. They keep that kind of close to the vest as they are questioning the suspect. That may be released or discussed later. 93 WIBC traffic. Here's Matt Bear.
All right, Chris, look at a downtown crash southbound 65 before Meridian Penn, blocking the right lane. Stop it. It's back to 29th at 7-minute delay. Also downtown crash eastbound 70 approaching the south split. Again, Meridian, Illinois, blocking the left lane, stopping traffic past Belmont to Holt Road. A 28-minute delay right now. Looking at southbound 69 on the northeast side, crash exiting to 465. Ramp is open. It's partially blocked. Hancock County, crash eastbound 70 between Fortville Pike and State Road 9. It's blocking the left lane and stopping traffic for about 4.5 miles. Delay time at 57 minutes. I'm using Washington 40 instead. Traffic sponsored by Drexel Interiors. Go where the pros go. Drexel Interiors for 1951 cabinetry. Visit Drexel's Kitchen and Bath Design Centers at 146th and River Road, North Shadeland, or online at drexelin.com. I'm Matt Bear. Follow us for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
Here's your forecast from the American Standard Cooling Weather Center.
Scattered showers and storms will be developing in the next couple hours, a slight risk of severe weather. Tonight, our low temperatures will be in the lower 60s with rain chances backing off after midnight. I'm Wish TV, Storm Track 8 meteorologist Ryan Morse for 93 WIBC.
I'm Chris Davis, on the level, on the go, and at WIBC.com.
It's the Hammer and Nigel Show. Hello, my name is Nigel. Jason Hammer is here. We'll go straight to the hotline and bring on Tony Kennet, host of the Tony Kennet Cast and investigative reporter for DailySignal.com. Tony Kennet, embedded deep in the swamp. How are you?
I am fantastic. The weather here is way too warm, and I miss being in a place that wasn't hell.
Well, I wish it was safe return home here to good old Indiana. We'll get to what you're doing.
Imagine being somewhere in Washington, D.C. and saying, I wish somewhere else were hell. Come on, Tony.
Hey, you know what? We're just doing our best out here, and I miss Indiana. I'm ready to come home.
What we'll get to what you're doing out there exactly here in just a few minutes, but the big 100 days, I don't know if that's a media creation now or like an FDR thing from way back in the day, but Trump's first 100 days last night gave the big speech in Michigan. Your thoughts, your overall analysis of what you've seen, and go over as much as you'd like.
Well, I think that the 100 days thing became a hallmark of every presidential administration when they started ruling by executive order. So when federal agencies became so big that we started having regulations, rules, and EOs instead of, congressional law, well, then the first 100 days, which is right about the time that the courts and Congress start getting very angry they haven't gotten any attention, that kind of matters. That's where the momentum is after an election. So for Trump, after 4 years away, and with the Biden administration basically throwing feces everywhere and during its entire existence, now Trump's back in, he's motivated, and he comes in and he starts throwing out executive orders like Adam Sandler throwing out sloppy joes. I mean, you're in a position now where there is a bit of an assessment. How has Trump delivered on immigration, on energy, on actually bringing forward a huge amount of reform to cutting waste, fraud, and abuse in federal agencies? It's been phenomenal. Some things were not meant to be done in 100 days, and I wouldn't say I worry. I'm critical of the individuals who believed that everything would just be rosy because momentum in immigration would transfer over to the economy. That's not how that works. And I think that I'd give it a 90. I'd give it an A 90 out of 100.
So, Tony, I don't know how much Wu-Tang Clan you listened to as a youth growing up, but one of the great statements made by members of said group, cash rules everything around me. It's always about the economy. The border is great, jobs are great, but everything is about the economy. Today we get the report GDP is down for the first quarter of Trump's new run as the president. People they got tariff mania. People are seeing their 401k still struggle a little bit. I know it's a long game, but midterms are not that far away. And if the economy is the biggest thing, how much trouble do you think Donald Trump could be in?
So this is why I said, and I said it very clearly on the show right after the election, Trump will have 16 months. He gets into office, 16 months is when the timer starts, because after 16 months occur, it's campaign season and then it's the midterms. And if you start making plans after the midterms before you've gotten there, you're an idiot, because the midterms never, ever, ever go how people expect them to go. In the last 8 elections, we've always had a bit of a surprise at either how far something has swung or how it didn't swing at all or it swung the other way. So you have a limited amount of time, and you're right. You are dead on the money. When you come in with a sledgehammer and you say tariffs for everybody, and then you have Peter Navarro on TV saying one thing, usually stupidly because Peter Navarro is an idiot, or Howard Lutnick, the Commerce Secretary, who's busy chewing on his own toes. And then you got Scott Bessent, who's actually competent, pulling the other way. It's a mess. The markets don't like it. It makes no sense. You've got Trump at the beginning making jokes about Canada and then saying that if Canada didn't want tariffs, then they needed to become the 51st state. And it was like just unnecessary. And it matters what's necessary, right? It matters how you spend your time and attention. And, yeah, I mean, I think that was an unnecessary loss. I think it's going to recover and end up being fine, but it matters how you do things. Optics matter.
Energy independence. I know that's something you've been talking about on your show. I've been watching the Kennet cast and the Daily Signal, and you've had some experts on there. Energy independence, drill, baby, drill, energy production.
Mm-hmm.
We saw what happened in Europe, in Spain, over the past week. Your thoughts on Donald Trump and his aggressive nature towards getting the United States back to where we need to be as far as that's concerned.
So the thing I like the most about the Trump administration is treating everything like a national security issue. Energy is a national security issue. We should not have to go on bended knee to Saudi Arabia or the Russians or the Canadians or anyone. The American energy system should be abundant. And I don't care what side of the political aisle you're on, everything runs on energy. Every policy, every category, all of it. And so drill, baby, drill, utilizing America's natural resources, innovating. Again, that's how we got natural gas, was innovating the oil sector. And natural gas is better in every single way than just, root crude oil. That kind of stuff drives not just the economy, it drives the country. And the Trump administration is making this country not just energy independent, but on the global stage, energy dominant. That hurts our enemies, that helps our allies, that supercharges the economy. And considering that the food you buy is driven there in trucks, it lowers the cost of groceries when energy is cheaper.
I don't know, man.
Huge win.
I was told net zero carbon emissions and all solar all the time was going to be the answer to all the world's climate change problems. I mean, look what happened in Spain. Obviously, it's working over there.
Oh, my gosh. I can't imagine why two countries, Portugal and Spain, decided that they would – and France. And just take 80% of their power, shove it into renewables, and duct tape it together and say, yeah, that'll hold. And then to watch it all fall apart and going, Monsieur, why is this the power is off? I tried to plug in my air freshener. It is not working. What do you expect? Windmills don't work any better there they do here. They're not reliable.
Can I just say how much I love that Tony Kennet is a national voice. He works at the Daily Signal, and just saying the name France almost made him throw up.
I heard the ugh.
Well, as an American, I really hate the conversation anytime that someone brings up surrender. And France is the embodiment of surrender. And so I on a religious level, I disagree with France.
Let's bring it back here to the United States, Tony. Media is still running with this Maryland man thing. I thought after a while they'd find a new shiny object. Maybe Luigi Mangione would have a new shirtless picture get released or something that they would turn their attention to. But they're still running with this Maryland man story. And earlier in our show, we talked about how there was a document released today. The ex-husband of Maryland man's wife said in a court filing in 2018 he was worried because his kids are now living with, their mom and her boyfriend, who is a gang member. Now, that's the damnedest thing, because I was told he was just a simple Maryland man that was dragged out of his house in the middle of the night like the way they did Blue in Old School.
So because I'm hated, I'm now running a second show called Top News in 10. This originally comes from a Baltimore 54 story, and they ran these court filings out where the actual father of the children was like, I don't really want my kids living with an MS-13, a gang member.
Right.
And they just shuffled those filings away. I would like to ask Governor Wes Moore of Maryland where the heck that was when all of these conversations was going on. That's really disgusting. And again, the Biden administration knew all of these things, and they did nothing. So now you don't have Maryland father. You don't even have Maryland man. You have El Salvador dirtbag gets deported to El Salvador. Cry me a bleeping river.
And did you see Donald Trump and that, who is it, Moran, the Terry Moran guy on ABC last night arguing about whether or not he had MS-13 tattooed on his knuckles or not, and whether or not that was...
Tattoo expert Terry Moran.
Yeah, exactly.
Look, before I go into an important business meeting, I make sure to tattoo a marijuana leaf, a smiley face, a cross with like the number 1 cut out, and then a 3-dotted skull on my fingers. Because, that doesn't mean MS-13. That just means I really love, smiling, smoking weed in church with skulls. I mean, who doesn't?
But the argument was there's like a mugshot photo of this guy's knuckles, and it has those symbols that you just described, the skull, the one, the blah, 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 blah.
Tattoos that we all have, sure.
Yeah, we all have them, yes, of course. but their point, no, this has been photoshopped. It's been photoshopped. No, they put, it's like a mugshot. Somebody inserted like a Times New Roman letterhead that says exactly what the symbols represent on top of this mugshot type style thing against the guy's knuckles. And that's what they're going with. They're saying, no, it's photoshopped. It would be like if me and Hammer took a selfie in the WIBC studios and then I wrote afterwards WIBC studios in letterhead above the photo. Nope, that's Photoshop. That's not real. That's not a real thing.
The thing is, they can't even say that it was an attempted Photoshop because you're right. The Times New Roman thing was really close, and I'm going to be a really big nerd here. The default font in Microsoft Office is called Calibri. So when you open up a blank Word document and you type on there, that's the font. So this is like if it was true that this was a Photoshop, guys, I'm good at Photoshop. This would be the laziest Photoshop in history. Yeah. It is embarrassing he ran with that. And then, I'm not an expert when pushed on it.
I'm shocked at this point that ABC didn't put their own Photoshopped on there. Definitely not a gang member across his forehead. Can you stick around for one more segment, Tony?
Yeah.
He is in the heart of the swamp right now in D.C. That's Tony Kennet, the Tony Kennet cast. He's coming right back. It's the Hammer and Nigel Show.
Promises made, promises kept. Governor Mike Braun's bold leadership is already getting things done for Hoosiers. Governor Braun and State House Republicans are delivering massive property tax cuts. We're talking nearly $1.5 billion in relief. That's real money back in homeowners' pockets. But Braun didn't stop there. He cut local income tax capacity by nearly $2 billion and capped the local income tax rate to protect Hoosiers. And Braun led the fight to reform local government taxes, giving Hoosiers more say by requiring referendums be held in high-turnout elections. Thanks to Governor Braun and State House Republicans, your property taxes will be lower, future increases are reined in, and the system is now more transparent. Visit HoosierHope.org and let Governor Braun and Republican legislators know you support historic property tax cuts. Paid for by HoosierHope.org.
Beck Toyota has been sold to the Hubler Automotive Group. But before the Hubler name comes, everything goes. And when Hubler says everything goes, we mean it. Every pre-owned Corolla, Camry, RAV4, Highlander, Tacoma, Tundra, every car, every truck, everything in the showroom, everything on the lot. Need credit? Managers will be on site, accepting applications for immediate review. Plus, Hubler's got you covered. Every Q-certified vehicle includes our 100,000-mile limited powertrain warranty. Before the grand opening of Hubler Toyota, everything goes. It's your chance to save like never before. Don't miss it. When Hubler says everything goes, we mean it. On US 31 South in Indianapolis, across from Hubler Chevrolet. Visit HublerToyota.com. Before the Hubler name comes, everything goes. Warranty on select models less than 9 years old.
When you're talking HVAC, you got to talk about American Standard Heating and Air because they're the ones that are built to a higher standard. I know I have American Standard equipment installed at my house. I use American Standard dealers. In fact, here's Hammer to tell you about one of those awesome local independent American Standard dealers in Central Indy.
How about Price Point Comfort? Price Point Comfort, locally owned American Standard heating and air conditioning dealer that gives you the right price guarantee. I like guarantees. Guarantees are good. They promise not to oversell you or pressure you into buying a bunch of stuff you don't need, like a lot of the other HVAC competitors do. Price Point Comfort strives for customer satisfaction. Check them out online, pricepointcomfort.com. That's pricepointcomfort.com, or just give them a call, 317-455-1124. You can ask for James or Tyler. They'll hook you up. Tell them Hammer and Nigel sent you. Price Point Comfort is your independent American Standard dealer built to a higher standard.
Sometimes an identity threat is a ring of professional hackers. And sometimes it's an overworked accountant who forgot to encrypt their connection while sending bank details.
I need a coffee.
And you need LifeLock because your info is in endless places. It only takes one mistake to expose you to identity theft. LifeLock monitors hundreds of millions of data points a second. If your identity is stolen, we'll fix it, guaranteed, or your money back. Save up to 40% your first year with promo code NEWS at lifelock.com. Terms apply.
The Crohn's and Colitis Foundation has been at the forefront of inflammatory bowel disease research and care for over 50 years. Learn more at Crohn'sColitisFoundation.org.
Mother's Day is almost here. Sundown Gardens is fully stocked with high-quality annuals, trees, shrubs, decor, and more. 186th Street and Spring Mill Road, sundowngardens.com.
Tired of digging through noise to find real news? Go straight to WIBC.com. Local stories, statewide impact, national headlines, info that matters. When news breaks, WIBC.com is already on it. Stay on the know while you're on the go.
Matt Baer has a look at the roads.
All right, Hammer, looking at southbound 65, crash has cleared at the north. Split still stop and go traffic from the White River down to 21st Street, an 11-minute delay. We cleared the crash on eastbound 70 before the south split slow back to west. And traffic has stopped again on eastbound 70 from Holt Road to Belmont. And we'll keep an eye on that. Looking at Hancock County, eastbound 70 crash between Fortville Pike and State Road 9. It's blocking the left lane, stopping traffic for 5.5 miles. Use Washington Street, US 40 instead. Crash inbound 69 going to 465. It's in the 4 lanes in the left center lane. That would be going to eastbound 465. So watch out for that lane. We're slow back to 96. Traffic sponsored by Drexel Interiors. Go where the pros go. Drexel Interiors for 1951 cabinetry. Visit Drexel's Kitchen and Bath Design Centers at 146 and River Road, North Shadeland, or online at drexelin.com. I'm Matt Baer. Follow us for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
71 at the American Standard Cooling Weather Center at 93 WIBC. Back with Tony Kennet. He'll be on the air at 7 o'clock tonight, right after our program ends with the Tony Kennet cast. Tony, did I see you were covering this Kristi Noem presser? Did I see that right?
Yeah, I showed up and I stood next to sweaty journalists, and we watched Kristi Noem come out there. All of the dogs in the area are fine, thank God.
Oh, come on.
Secretary Brooke Rollins of Agriculture. They're covering the federal government just dropped all charges on this family from South Dakota who owns a small farm. And their farm was right up next to the U.S. Forestry Service. And Biden's administration, because the fence was not in the right place, went to prosecute the family and tried to rip the children away and throw the family in prison, which is insane, actually insane. And the Trump administration dropped those charges and basically brought them forward and said, we're going to try to focus on families and farmers. And I got to be honest, I'm shocked this story hasn't received more coverage.
All right, so in terms of Kristi Noem, here we are 100 days in. That was a big talking point. We mentioned it earlier. Where does she rank on your list of Donald Trump cabinet members? Is she above Pete Hegseth? Is she below Pam Bondi? Give me your hierarchy, your rankings of your Trump cabinet members 100 days in.
Well, the best cabinet member, without a doubt, is Marco Rubio. He should be the next vice presidential pick. He's that good. Following after, I'd have to say either Vance or Scott Bessent. And then following that, Pete Hegseth. And then I think Kristi Noem and Brooke Rollins have both done a really phenomenal job. You get to a lot of minor people who haven't been in the news, and I'd say that's a good thing. I remember, seeing individuals from the cabinet last time around who were always on the news, and they usually ended up being the worst one.
By the way, I just wanted to mention Bessent is gay, right?
Oh, yeah. It's I know that's hard to believe because he doesn't talk about it like every gay liberal.
Well,
but,
and plus the fact that Trump was going to take away all these rights of all the LGBTQ community, and one of the highest-ranking members of his cabinet is homosexual.
Which is amazing because the last time the transportation secretary was in office, that's all he ever talked about was him and chest feeding and Chasten and leaving
Chasten.
office for maternity leave.
The way I respond to Chasten is the way you respond to France. Just worn out by that guy. What's coming up tonight on the big program, Tony?
I am so booked end to end that we're going to be like Bill O'Reilly and just do it live.
Nice.
So your guess is as good as mine.
Oh, it's a full show of roulette tonight. Not just caller roulette, it's a show roulette. You never know what's coming.
Yeah, it's going to be a mess one way or the other.
All right, check him out tonight, 7 p.m., right here at 93 WIBC, the Tony Kennet Cast. You can also see his work at the Daily Signal, on Twitter at TheTonus. TK, we'll talk next week.
Thanks, guys. You're the best.
It's the Hammer and Nigel Show.
Your future holds so much potential. The question is, are you planting the right seeds today to make it flourish? At Howard Bailey Financial, we strive to help you create a retirement plan that can adapt to your evolving needs, offering guidance to bring you clarity, confidence, and purpose along the way. Whether you're just beginning or refining your financial strategy, we're here to support you. Let's grow something lasting together. Text GROW to 888-262-1104 to start planning for your future full of possibility. That's GROW to 888-262-1104. Take the first step today. Howard Bailey Securities, LLC is an independent financial services firm and uses a variety of different investment strategies. Please see disclosures at howardbailey.com.
You were blessed to have a home large enough to raise a family, but now the kids have been on their own for a while and the house seems a little different. All those rooms are a bit too much to manage. Simple just seems better. Simple Quarters is a company that understands, and they can help you trade in your house for one that's a better fit for this point in your life. A lot of folks don't realize you can trade in your house like you can trade in your car. Simple Quarters will buy your house and help you transition into a new one all at the same time. No double mortgages or months of showing and stress. They streamline the process. Or they'll simply buy your house as is, and you can take the next steps on your own. Simple Quarters is a Christian company committed to making your real estate transitions easier. If you're considering downsizing, Simple Quarters offers both as-is home purchases and a convenient home trade-in option. Call Simple Quarters at 317-900-HOME. That's 317-900-HOME.
Spring has sprung and Indiana's floodgates have opened, meaning everything is growing, including your roots. Underground root growth knows no bounds and can wreak havoc on your sewer system, causing potential damage to your home. My friends at Hope Plumbing want to help you stay ahead of the rain by offering $300 off any sewer repair or replacement. This offer excludes drain cleanings. Call Hope Plumbing at 641-HOPE or visit them online at hopeplumbing.com and stay dry this spring.
Sometimes an identity threat is a ring of professional hackers. And sometimes it's an overworked accountant who forgot to encrypt their connection while sending bank details.
I need a coffee.
And you need LifeLock because your info is in endless places. It only takes one mistake to expose you to identity theft. LifeLock monitors hundreds of millions of data points a second. If your identity is stolen, we'll fix it, guaranteed, or your money back. Save up to 40% your first year with promo code NEWS at LifeLock.com. Terms apply.
The heart of a mom gives everything, her time, her love, her prayers. And just like Jesus showed us the power of selfless love, many moms and mother figures demonstrate it every day. Whether it's a hug, a call, or a simple thank you, let her know she's cherished. Consider bringing her to church. She would love the time with you to sit and consider the deep things of God. So celebrate her, celebrate love, and give thanks to the one who gave us both, Jesus. LifeChurchIN.com.
You love spring in Indy, but you hate to paint, so do what Judy did. She called Rhino Shield.
The house that Rhino Shield did for my husband and I, after having the house painted with kind of usual house paint, I was seeing cracks appearing about every 3 years and just wasn't very satisfied with that.
Rhino Shield's a ceramic coating specifically formulated for our unique climate.
I can't speak highly enough about the Rhino Shield crew. They also were great at working with me to get the exact right color because I was very particular.
Indy, you too can have the guaranteed protection of Rhino